Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Weebs of the Ring, episode 61. We are in a party in Berlin. We're here to talk about the pay-per-view, or if you're new to this, is the premium live event. We have our match of the card of tonight is the WWE title. Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens will be our first convo, and then after that is the women's tag titles. Alba, Fyre, and Isla versus Bianca, Belair, and Jade Cargill took the W. Were you happy about this? We will discuss it. Strap match. Finally, CM Punk is done with Drew McIntyre. He's going for the gold. He's going for Gunther. But what he had a side quest on the side with Seth Rollins, we will see. And then we have our fourth event, and it's Dirty Ass Dom and Should Have Been Me, Liv Morgan versus Mommy Rhea Ripley and Big Daddy Damian Priest. They had the match that took down the world champion, and Dirty Ass Dom finally left their sights. But then we have the main event of the night, the World Heavyweight title, Gunther versus Randy Orton. They cooked the house. They did such a great job, and we will break it down for the night. So without further ado, let's start the intro.
Oh, hello, hello, hello. Oh, you might be wondering to yourself, hey, everybody, what's Deadpool doing here instead of Walk-ins? Well, first of all, I am not Deadpool. I am Walkpool, here today to give you a special guest. That's right, we are here from Berlin. Maybe from Berlin, I don't know. Maybe we're time traveling, maybe we're traveling across the world, who knows? But hey, we had a good wrestling show tonight. We got to catch up with it, and hey, there's four of us on the screen. Why are there four of us, and who are we? Well, with anime in our soul and thoughts of wrestling out of control, today, for a limited time only, we are four weebs who enjoy the entertainment of professional wrestling. So, allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we talk about the wrestling event of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all you nerds out there. So, grab your steel chair, yell for the table, and get put through an experience unlike any other. Brought to you, of course, by AniMa Studio. This is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Welcome, everybody. Hopefully, you guys have had a good Saturday, whether you're, West Coast, East Coast, all the way across the world. We got to experience some truly class wrestling today. And as I said before, I am your world champion, Walkpool, here today as your special guest. And again, we got a different layout tonight. So let's start with, over to my left, the legend himself, Vash, legend of the ring. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Is the visionary yourself, right here, Legendary Vash, and that is from the shirt from the past week. I've been showing it best in the world. There's man CM Punk triumph over Drew McIntyre. He had self-control over the bracelet. He came over on top and finally showed the people that he's not the old wrestler like he used to be. He actually became more. I was very excited to see his second match on the big screen, and I was very excited for his execution. He did much better than his first match in SummerSlam. From the past year, from the live events this past holiday, was a bit sketchy, so I'm very happy to see that he's been doing very well and improving in the ring.
Perfect, excellent. Now, diagonally, as we move up the clock, clockwise on our little screen, we have, as always, the genius of the sky and of the ring, obviously. We have Drop This Box. Drop, how you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. I'm very excited to give my thoughts on what happened tonight. Hopefully, we're prepared for a chaotic bad blood, because I definitely see a lot of seeds planted tonight. It's going to be fun to talk about that.
Oh, yeah, the chaos is brewing, and good thing that Bad Blood is in Halloween season, because maybe we'll get some witches to brew some special concoction for us going into Bad Blood. And now, for the first time, and hopefully not the last time, our special guest for the evening, none other than I Hate Vonnie. And good thing none of us in here are named Vonnie, so he doesn't have to hate us. But Vonnie, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. Happy to be here. Fan. Wow, words is beating my butt right now. Fan of the show is what I was trying to say. Y'all got me nervous here because, bro, I'll be watching y'all every once in a while. I'm like, I finally get to be a part of this. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Let's go indeed. And with that being said, hey, I'm going to head on out. Walkpool will probably see you guys for the outro. So let me go ahead and bring Watkins back here.
It's just a real right there, like, well, we're waiting intermission.
Hey, I'm here with my everything good.
Oh my God, where did he come from?
Oh, it's like a whole different character.
I know.
Where did my AirPods
I
go?
don't even recognize.
But while Watkins does the little quick switcheroo, how was everybody's first impression of the actual event appeal? Were you satisfied by the event itself? Were you entertained by the event? Were you a bit let down by one of the matches? Because honestly, as a POA of 5 matches, the people keep ranting online saying that there should be 6, 7 on POA International. I'm satisfied. These 5, the press conference, the pre-show, it's like a good 6-7 hours of the day that they give entertainment aspect, the commentary, the history. Even myself or my wife watching the pre-show, she doesn't have the time to watch every Monday and Friday. So this gives a good video package for somebody that's been out of the loop for weeks or months. It gives them a quick type of refresh. And for the PLA, for me, I was entertained. I had a good time. There was one match that could have been a lot better, but we will break that down later. But I had a great time.
Oh, you gotta love live shows, guys. You know, getting to do everything live like that. Oh man, but okay. So Vash, that was your overall thoughts, just really quickly. I guess drop. What were your quick thoughts of the night before we get into it?
I honestly thought it was a pretty good pay-per-view overall. Like, I didn't really have any issues with it for the most part. I do have like a few thoughts on like certain matches. Maybe just like one particular match, but for the most part, I enjoyed it all the way through from the beginning where we opened up with Cody and KO all the way up until Gunther and Randy Orton's match. So for the most part, it did its job, because you also got to keep in mind this is like a B-level pay-per-view that they normally have in between, especially after a show like SummerSlam. So I felt like they did what they needed to do so we can prepare for what's to come next. And Monday is definitely going to be very telling when it comes to what the future holds between these certain superstars. So very interested to dive into that once we get into our further discussions later.
Oh yeah, perfect. And you know what? Even with your comments right there, it makes me think, wow, I guess Drop really did like the women's tag match, didn't he?
Maybe.
Maybe. Oh, that's a strong maybe. Perfect. Yeah. Awesome. But hey, Vonnie, how'd you like Bash in Berlin as a quick little the quick thoughts, I guess, before we dive in to everything?
I think it was alright. It was pretty good. There was really no match there that made me go, wow, this is a stinker, or wow, they could have not did this. I think all 5 matches served their purpose. To your point initially about there being 5 matches instead of 50 million, I think Triple H is taking the black and gold NXT's mantra when it came to how they were doing their PLEs at that point, and it's working. And he's just doing it in different territories, clearly in Berlin as we are now. But I would ultimately say there are certain things about it that I have some moderately strong opinions about, like y'all do. But we're gonna get into that when we get into that. So,
goody. So, oh man, and I mean, I guess my quick thoughts, really quick. I think it was good. You know, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Vonnie. Like, it nothing was like very spectacular, but nothing was like, you know, dog poo that I have to clean up after Sydney goes out. So it's like it was fine. You know, it served its purpose, all that stuff. But you know, let's go ahead. Let's dive into anything. Let's get into the nitty gritty of the Bash in Berlin card. We're gonna start off, of course, how the night started off. We had our WWE title match. We had Cody Rhodes defending against Kevin Owens. Basically, the story of this being, can Kevin find that killer instinct again against his friend? And one thing I thought about throughout this whole match, I'm gonna try, where did I write that here? It's like, this match was a good example of taking old school principles or like old school ways of like storytelling in the ring and modernizing it. Like this it was just really good. Like I kind of felt myself just kind of watching more than like taking my notes and all that, even though I took a lot of notes. But like, man, it was just really good overall. But I'm gonna start with this question, I guess. How did you guys feel about KO kind of struggling, I guess, with trying to, fight Cody in this aspect? Because like Cody was trying to like drag a lot out of Kevin. Vash, I'm going to start with you with that comment. How'd you feel about just KO's role in all of this?
For KO's role for this, it was pretty interesting how he has to fight his urges of not to turn who he used to be, like how he used to be called like the fighter on the brawler. So him not becoming the old person. I love the great acting he did, like the facial expression of him trying to fight his old, type of personality. Like, damn, I don't want to do this. Should I? And, that's not who I am no more. So I really love that it showed to the screen, like saying that he was struggling within himself. Even fucking Wade Barrett, like, come on, have your killing instinct. You could do this, kid. Why aren't you like this? I'm like, Wade, he did deliver his best friend. Like, if this was some old shump or some old other person that's new, or if this was Grayson Waller, he would not hesitate. He would do this 10 times more rougher than Grayson Waller. That's how much hatred he has against him. But for Cody, it's like that's literally his best friend outside of the ring. And for story purposes, it's like, hey, I'm not going to do that no more. He even said that for the past 2 weeks. Even saying like, hey, I don't forgive Sammy or Chris Jericho, John Cena. Still sorry for Kofi. I want to say that. Still sorry for Kofi. But Cody, for you, I'm not going to betray you. You're still my love. You're still my brother. So I love that he showed up on screen very well. Am I mad about that? No, because Randy or KO, they didn't turn heel tonight. And I'm interested to know where are we going to turn with that now, because SmackDown still don't have enough heels to run with the show. So I'm really curious to see what they're going to kind of continue moving forward with these two characters. So for KO itself, where's he going to go next, since it looks like he was still conflicted by the end of the match that he lost. So I'm still interested, where is he going to go within that character?
Yeah. And like, how do you guys feel about Cody, I guess, more with this too? Because it's like, Cody was kind of acting, part of me wants to say a little heelish, because like there was a moment where like he rolled out of the ring, and like he's having like the refs checking in on him and all that, and like Kevin even actually like walks up to him. Cody pushes him and like goes in for an attack, almost kind of like what a heel would do, being like, "Oh, I'm hurt," bat right there. So I mean, yeah, like so I'm yeah. So I'm just gonna open that up to anybody. Like, what does anybody feel about like Cody just kind of his role with all this? I mean, I guess also talk about Kevin's role too, because that was something that was a little different as well.
Personally, what I would say to that, I honestly just feel like that's leaning more into him trying to bring out KO. Because that has been like the main storyline between the two. He's just trying to find the real Kevin Owens again, the one that we know as the prize fighter. And I feel like with him putting himself in that situation, that was only him trying to bring out that character. That's why we saw fragments of that version of KO throughout the match. And that's probably one of the things I personally liked about the match. Like Vash said, I like the storytelling within the match, because a lot of the time when you're watching a match, it's not just the wrestling that you're seeing in the ring, it's also them showing a story. And with Kevin Owens having his emotions like all over the place, that's showing that the inner struggle with Kevin Owens that he's been dealing with. And I'm hoping that leads into something a little bit more, because I'm all for like character changes if they want to go down a certain direction to help progress a character in a way that they haven't done in so long. And I just feel, and I also feel like what we saw towards the end, to elaborate a little further on what Vash said, I sort of feel like that's just Kevin Owens as a character. He's always been like that. It's like, okay, you won, you don't need to put me in the spotlight or anything. That's just how he is. That's his attitude. That's something I've known from Kevin Owens even back in the Black and Gold days, when we first got introduced to him and saw him for the very first time in his run there. That's just always been a part of him. So that's just him being Kevin Owens. But the storytelling, for the most part, throughout the match itself, besides the match being very entertaining, is what I looked into the most when I was watching this.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Vonnie? How are you with like the characterization and like the story going forward with Kevin and Cody?
I feel like I agree with the points that were made. The only thing
Yeah.
that kind of bothers me a bit about this is like if you were able to put the beats on Sami Zayn the way
Yeah.
that you did a while back and make that turn, it's like who is Cody?
That's
Like
true.
really when
Yeah.
you think about who mans is this? It's weird because it's like of all people, Kevin Owens being that guy. I get it. Like it feels very like Piper versus Bret Hartish in that sense. I see what they're
Mhm.
doing with that sense, and I do like that. It was a great match overall in itself too. But it's like
Yeah.
fam, like Kevin Owens is the type of person where it's like he fight his grandmother for that world title. And I
Yeah.
want to see that come back out. Not him actually
Yeah.
fighting his grandmother, but like, yo, get to that point where it's like you get that killer instinct is needed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I also feel like everybody so badly, well, I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of people so badly want Cody to kind of become that Homelander, that Rhodes lander, if you
much.
will, type guy.
Yeah.
So much. And this is a good start to getting to that point, ultimately down the
Mhm.
stretch. But I don't think that you see that anytime soon. In fact, they may play with it a little bit, but we're not gonna get that at any point. I think it was a good
Yeah.
match. I was waiting for KO to come through with at the end of the match or something like that, but he didn't.
Yeah.
I think y'all got to split them two up, and they got to do something different. KO got to go somewhere else.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely agree with that because especially when Vash brought up before, we also did talk about it last night. We were discussing SmackDown about there being a lack of heels. Because you also have to keep in mind that, ever since Cody became champion, the only people he feuded with after he took the title from Reigns, he feuded with AJ, Logan Paul, Solo, and then he's just having a friendly competition match of KO. Other than that, there's not really many people on there. Like once Randy Orton turns heel, which is pretty much a given because we'll talk a little bit later of where that's going to lead. But then you'll have like a new heel there for Cody to work with, and obviously there's a lot of rich history, and they can milk that as much as they want
Mhm.
because that's probably going to be, besides, actually that probably would be Cody's biggest feud to begin with when it comes to that title. I'm not really counting Reigns because he won that off of him. I'm talking about like moving forward with his current reign right now.
Mhm.
But you also have to like keep in mind, if Kevin Owens did go down a different direction, which is something I personally want, like Vonnie said, you also have to look at where LA Knight is too, because I can even look at LA Knight and you can put that in the same category as Cody, where there's not really many people for him to feud with as well. The only person that I see taking the title off of him is probably Carmelo Hayes, but that's like way in the future. But besides
Mhm.
Carmelo Hayes, because that's Endgame, there really isn't anybody there, and I'm not going to want to see a Santos thing every single week. I've already gotten tired of that to begin with. Started off fresh, didn't really do much with it. It's hard to really get invested into it again. That's why I said when you go to the main roster, it's either sink or swim. You're hot, you get a strike while the iron's hot. But with Kevin Owens potentially going heel in the near future, if it happens, which I'm hoping because we haven't seen it in such a long time, you could even have a program where KO does his own thing, like Vonnie said, and he can even have a program with LA Knight and Kevin Owens. I think that would be a pretty good feud. I wouldn't mind it at all. It would definitely be something new that we haven't seen before, and I would love to see the both of them work together. But definitely like with Kevin Owens, because I don't want him to feel like a side character where he's
Mhm.
just there, because he's more than that. So I'm
And I
hoping
think
that this brings like more out of Kevin Owens moving forward, and hopefully SmackDown answers a couple questions for that.
Yeah, and I think like see the more tantalizing part of this story with like Kevin Owens and Cody is Kevin Owens because like
Yeah,
in a way like in the past few years, especially like with his fights with Roman and all that, Kevin's kind of been going through like almost a redemption arc.
yeah,
Especially last year with all the stuff with like Sammy leading into WrestleMania and then winning the
hmm
tag titles. Cause like, yeah, Kevin Owens betrayed a lot of friends. He did a lot of stuff. But like when it came to the point with him and Sammy breaking up after losing the tag titles, none of them really betrayed the other. It was just Kevin
no,
Owens being like, hey, I'm not cool with you, being cool with Jay right now. Cause that's stupid. Like, look at all the stuff that he did to you. Look at all the stuff he did to me. Like, that made sense within the character, and like him not actually turning on Sammy was a good thing in that aspect. And so, like, we see now where it's like, okay, you have freaking Wade Barrett on commentary yelling, "Where's your killer instinct?" And like Kevin, he tried a couple times because like his old self would have hit that apron power bomb. It would have like destroyed Cody's knee right there. But like because he went through that redemption, I guess he can't like feel like he can get back down to that, which that's the story right there. Is like, okay, is Kevin gonna eventually snap? You know, and is it gonna be on Cody? Is it gonna be on Orton? Because like Orton right now, like even if he's a heel, people are going to be cheering him. With Kevin, like, yeah, people will still be kind of cheering him, but like, I guess for me, the ratio would be different. Whereas like Randy would be like 50-50 cheer booing. Kevin would be more like 70% booing, 30% cheering. But yeah, that's like, to me, that's like more of the tantalizing, just the juicy fruit that I'm looking for all this. Cause like with Cody, like we're seeing like the hints of like the Cody Lander stuff, which I mean, I'm all for, but I doubt we're gonna get Cody as a heel anytime soon. But
yeah,
like maybe like a year, 2, 3, we'll get a heel Cody run, and that'll be glorious in itself.
What's interesting about this feud between KO and with Cody, even during the pre-show, they was giving the video package of how they've been friends for so long. Even the most funniest thing is how KO snuck himself in a family portrait that was all with the Cody and Rhodes family, and he literally, you find the most random person, like it's just that random uncle that just pops out of nowhere. It's just right there in the corner, just KO being there, and I'm like, wow, they actually have been friends for so long. And from last night's SmackDown promo as well, Cody telling him like, hey, I remember I took your spotlight from WrestleMania 38 when you had your fight with Steve Austin. I came back. You also got me into the context with all the people from AEW to make the company that it is now. So I love how much respect that KO got from Cody from the promo from last night's SmackDown and from the interview with Corey Graves. That showed a lot more to the meaning, you know, behind not really the feud, but kind of rivalry. I'll call it like the friendly rivalry, like where they're frenemies. Like at work, they're enemies. You know, they're still for business. They're there for competition. But for KO, he couldn't see the competition as a full enemy, where he actually like, damn, do I really have to hit my friend knee and actually bust his knee, where he's gonna be out for the next week or two. So I'm glad KO didn't push himself in that. Overall, I would love to say as well, so I don't repeat myself for the rest of the next 4 fights. Bash in Berlin was top 3 of international crowds. That's one thing I would say. They was very good for each match. They was really behind it. They was really having the two wrestlers, you know, soak in the energy, soak in the vibe and everything. That felt very beautiful. Still France top 2. I'll say Bash is number 2 or 3, because number 3, I would say it could be either the event from Backlash from last year, Puerto Rico.
Nobody's touching that Puerto Rico crowd. I don't care what nobody says.
I'll say France is not, I'm gonna say France is number 1 for me.
France is up there.
France. Like, for me, it goes like France and Puerto Rico. Like they're like this, like very close with each other. And then like
definitely
Berlin is probably like right down here. Like they were cool, they were hot, but like they weren't shaking that hard camera hot. They weren't like freaking out for Bad Bunny hot. Like nah.
Yeah.
One
thing I know we probably should bring up is what was discussed after the match, because that definitely is going to segue into SmackDown next week, is what Michael Cole said after the match between KO and Cody was over, which is when he said Solo's next in line. Like, how do you guys personally feel about that? I will say at first, I don't care. I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't care for it. I don't need to see it. I've already seen it once. I don't want to see the exact same story play out where we have Roman coming back just to screw over Solo, because if that ends up happening to be a match at Bad Blood, that more than likely is going to be what you're going to see. Roman's going to come back. You probably have Jimmy or Paul Heyman with him this time when the rest of them are out there during the match or whatever. So I don't need to see the match at Bad Blood. I personally don't think it's going to be a thing, because if I were to throw something in there, I would just put Roman and Solo, because I feel like just because of the sort of like just because of the feelings they have towards him right now, that basically calls for a match like that. But just looking into that now, knowing how it's probably going to be brought up on SmackDown anyway, it definitely opens up the door for how Kevin could possibly feel about that now, and also with Randy as well, which I will bring that up, because it did say if it did say if Randy did hypothetically win this match, he would have been a Raw superstar, and then Gunther would have gotten traded to SmackDown if he ended up winning the title. So now that opens up the door. It's like, okay, you're going to give this guy another title opportunity. Why are you doing this? I'm pretty sure that's something Kevin would bring up, and I'm pretty sure that's something Randy would bring up, and would also be like, oh, you gave KO a shot. Why not give me a shot? I'm your friend. You know me longer, etc. So on. Build up tension there. Like, I don't know, what was your guys' personal like feelings on that? Like, how do you guys just feel overall on it?
Oh, can I go on this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Oh, of course. By all means.
I'm very glad, Drop, that you brought this up, because I forgot that happened, and that's telling me every bit of the fact that they taking that title from Cody. Cody not walking into the 2025 with that belt. I'm letting y'all know that right now.
It's unfortunate, but
And what makes it worse is the fact that that belt is going to be clogged up in this bloodline feud, this bloodline civil war. Like, they're putting it in there. The fact that they're feeding Solo right back into the mix, like, I don't know if it's going to be a Jacob Fatu situation where he beat the brakes off of Cody, and then we get that. I don't know how it's going to go. Maybe Roman might become a part of this somehow, but, like, ultimately, I'm letting you know that title getting back in the mix. So it's probably gonna happen at Bad Blood, seeing as they're making it to be such a big PLA with how they did the whole Metro Boomin thing a couple months ago, and they did
still do it like almost every week in a promo. So like, man, we're still here. Why, man? We're just lurking. We gotta see what's cooking.
Yeah,
see, that's the thing that like I can definitely see what Vonnie's saying, because that's definitely a direction I can see them going down, just based on how much they're pushing Solo into it, like Vonnie said. But like but it's just I think I brought this up a couple of times, and I know Vash and Watkins also brought this up as well. It's coming to the point where that story with the bloodline doesn't really need the title anymore, and it's kind of weird how they want to throw that in there to begin with. It could easily be about this, that Roman was trying to get his hands on again, which
like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is the title.
That's it.
Yeah, the Ula Fala. Exactly.
Who's in charge of it? Whoever holds it is to
exactly
in their own eyes.
Exactly. That should be the top prize they should be going after, not the WWE title. Solo, okay, you can get the title in the near future. We know what's going to happen eventually. Roman will probably get another reign. I'm not worried about that. But they need to focus on what really matters at that point. And that's this. They don't need to really worry about the title again right now. We don't really need to see Cody and Solo again, because that just goes to show that you don't have any creative direction for Cody, and you just want to put him into a feud with the Bloodline again, and then we're going to see these tag matches. See, that was my main issue, like back then when everything started in the previous regime, is that it was the same concept. Whenever Roman had a new challenger, it was the same. Let's say if it was like like with LA Knight, I'll bring up LA Knight for example. When LA Knight got to that feud at Roman Reigns, he kept having matches with Solo, and he kept having matches with Jimmy. And now we're gonna end up seeing the same thing again, where it's like, okay, Cody's gonna have a match with Jacob Fatu now. He's gonna have a match with Tonga Loa. He's gonna be having a match with forgot the other ones
somewhere.
Hikuleo. Yeah.
So
it's like
he popping up.
My
just
think
lazy.
My answer to your question is 3 words. It's not I acknowledge you, Solo. It's fuck you, Solo. Respectfully, because my guy, we get it. You want this belt, but Roman's coming back on September 13th. That's literally in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
he's about to come back, and about to start beef again for the next couple months.
Dude,
or things are gonna set up.
Yeah.
One thing I hope they do that they haven't done in the past 4 months for the title is actually hold a number 1 contender for the title for Cody. it doesn't have to be a heel or face. Just actually have a number one contender. It'll be a change of pace where Cody won't know who's his opponent until 2 weeks from now, for example, where you could hold a number one contender and anybody could put in the ring. It's just like for the IC title that's coming for this Monday. Just have another trios where it's just a nice build up that has to be for Cody, where eventing with Solo, he has to earn his spot. Again, eventing he could qualify.
Yeah, you
for
can't
the
just
number
call
one contender.
for it.
Don't just call for it. You know, just because you're the Temu bloodline. I'm gonna say up.
Or you can just call him cosplay tribal chief.
I can't. That's so crazy.
Cosplay tribal chief is more, I feel like, a compliment. I feel like he's trying to be somebody.
I can't. No, I can't.
Yeah. Like, you're the
Timu tribal
version.
chief is crazy.
Yeah.
Timu tribal chief is wild. And I need y'all to not put some respect on the name, bro.
Oh yeah.
We didn't start it. It was actually a fan that had a poster for like on some Smack that I had a couple weeks. So that's been stuck in our brain since then.
Yeah.
And also like, to quote one Kratos, no.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like part of me's thinking, like I brought up before, like when we were discussing the build up to SummerSlam, it's hard for me to be Roman and watch Solo capture a title. It's just so hard for me to be Roman and be like, oh, I'll let him beat Cody, or you know, I'll be taken out of the picture for a little bit and I'll show up whenever. It's just hard for me to really see Solo try to act like he's the shit and everything, and Roman just lets it slide. Like I feel like every opportunity Solo gets, Roman's gonna want to purposely take that away from him, and that's what if they end up going down that direction again with Cody and Solo at Bad Blood, I really hope Roman and whoever is alongside him messes up the whole thing so it doesn't happen.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I got one.
Go ahead.
I
want to say on this bloodline thing, and I'll leave it be. Rikishi, I respect your craft. I respect everything you stand for. I respect you. I respect your bloodline. I respect your family. Like, y'all done paved the way for us. Like, bro, I grew up watching you. Jey Uso's gonna be fine.
Yep.
I'm glad you brought that up.
I'm gonna just leave it at that. Yeet.
That, and also, like we said it last week, bro, worry about your other 4 kids that are just starting in this industry. You have like 4 or 5 other kids that are literally in the indies. Worry about them. Eventually, tell them to go to AEW. Yeah. Don't tell the guy that's Jey Uso has been in the industry already for 12 years in this company.
Exactly.
Rikishi so like an IWC person, and it's like, oh man, come on, bro. Like,
but KO match, great. Cody and them did a great match. If you ask me my rating on top of my head, I'm not going to give it a 5 out of 5. I will give it honestly a 4 out of 5. It was good executed. Both of them went back and forth. They know each other very well. Both of them masters is an own craft. The one thing I would say is a nitpick. I'm not sure if it's because of me or if it was too obvious. The fucking stunners felt like it never even close to touch Cody. That bothered kind of. I'm not sure if that was KO's fault that he didn't reach too far to the stomach, or if that was Cody's fault that he didn't, sell it or react to it. And that's something that threw me off because it didn't feel like those 2 stunners that he did to Cody. It felt like, okay, I believe it, but I didn't see it to believe it, if that makes sense. So it kind of threw me off. I was a bit annoyed about that. So I'm not sure if it was also the camera that was supposed to do a quick pan shot and not show that scene. Who knows? But that kind of threw me off a bit. So that's my one minor nitpick.
So I just want to quote one Cultaholic, Tom Campbell from Cultaholic. I want to play Devil's Avocado real quick here. So because I'm gonna backtrack real quick with this whole Bloodline WWE title thing. So with the Bloodline, I would almost make an argument that the WWE title kind of needs to be part of that, because the way you kind of, especially with Roman after his reign, he made the WWE title be the top prize. That is the prize where not only it's like you're the top dog, you're getting all the money, you're getting all the bitches, you're getting everything. And so to be like the tribal chief, to be like that leader, you need to be on top. And the only way to be on top is to win that WWE title. Now, unfortunately, we're again like yes, I will kick Solo while he's down. Unfortunately, we have Solo as our tribal chief right now. And, at the moment, like, he's been getting better. It's just like the level of progression hasn't been where I've wanted it to be, and especially where Roman left it after Mania. So like, I think that's where most of this has been coming from. I mean, just look at the beatdown they tried to do on Roman. They couldn't do anything until Jacob Fatu came out.
Exactly,
Like,
and it's hard
Yep.
to believe Solo for that reason when you have
mhm,
Jacob Fatu taking out Solo, taking out Roman with a boot
yeah,
on his left leg and still
Yeah.
doing twist jumps from the top rope. And Solo, all you got is a fucking big ass thumb with tape and a spear. I'm like, my guy.
Yeah,
How,
Roman
like-
took out the whole army by himself.
It's like your
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu and Tamatanga are more interesting because of what they're doing, heading to the ring only, and you Solo is just walking. Again, Solo,
you know what?
I don't want to cut your vibe. I get it. You try to look like the Godfather, or you trying to look like some type of head mafia out here, because those gloves and everything. And Jacob Fatu like just praising behind you like you're the god of the whole Messiah. It's hard to believe it, Solo. I'm sorry, you ain't tough to me.
I
No,
fucking
Bash,
love
keep it
Jacob
funky, bro.
Fatu.
and I'm also gonna.
Bro, you be walking around the crib doing the Tamatanga.
Exactly. Yo, he's
Oh
doing
yeah,
it,
irritated,
oh
like,
yeah, nah.
I look at him and I'm like, bro, what did you just smoke like before you come out? Like, what are you
Bruh.
Yeah.
on?
Yeah,
Because
And-
even
and
Jay
can-
Uso
and can you
tweeted
share?
before, like saying like, I don't even know what my family is on. Like, yes, Jay, please ask us the questions we all been asking.
and that's why a lot of
Okay.
people were saying once Jacob Fatu was like factored into all of this, is that he was gonna outshine Solo because
And he has.
what
Mhm.
people wanted to see from Solo is what Jacob Fatu is. So that's why whenever Jacob Fatu is put in the spotlight, a lot more people put more focus on that, because if Jacob Fatu was in the position as Solo was, then I would actually take him as a contender to be like the next tribal chief. And if he had a match with Cody, I wouldn't have any issues with him winning the title, because he's actually able to hold his own. He also feels like a final boss, to be perfectly honest. Even though this is like early in his WWE run, he just feels more like a final boss character.
I have a question to you guys.
Mhm.
Would you guys laugh? Because I did laugh about this idea. Imagine if Solo tells Jacob Fatu to go one-on-one with Cody, Bad Blood. Jacob Fatu wins, but since our boy Jacob Fatu is an enforcer, he could just take the belt from Jacob Fatu and pass it on to him without Solo doing the work. And he always tells his people to do the work for
That's
him,
the s-
but he takes the credit.
You know what? You know what? You know
And
what?
that gives
Fuck
him
it,
every-
give it to me.
That gives
Give
him
it
every
to me,
opportunity
you know?
to snap right there. I mean,
Yeah.
you even saw based on the body language alone. That's why I said it's going to build something.
I
It's
feel
not
like
just going to be like, okay,
if
I'll
that
just
actually
hang.
goes,
Hey,
I
I'll
don't
just
mind
give
if
the
that
other guy.
happens.
Mhm.
Yeah, because if you look at it if you look at what happened, he had to hand over a title that he won in capital,
Yeah.
like HE. He won that title
To the
himself.
best wrestler he gave it to. Tonga Loa,
Yeah,
the
exact-
best wrestler of the bloodline.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well,
it's
he is.
yeah,
Vonnie,
but
don't
it's
laugh.
like
He's literally the best one. You telling
Oh,
me
yeah.
that
The
all those
best.
mishaps are now on purpose is for a reason.
Oh no,
Yeah, but
he's the greatest troll
It's
right now.
oh yeah.
it's all part of Keikaku.
But it's like with the body language alone that we did see from Jacob Fatu, obviously there's something building inside. It's just to be early stages, but you saw that look on his face where he was like a little hesitant at first to give him that title to begin with. So if that ends up happening at Bad Blood, if that happens to be a match, we don't really know for certain what they're going to do yet. But let's say we're in like an alternate timeline and that is the match that happens and Jacob Fatu wins, I can definitely see something like that playing out, because if he's able to tell Jacob Fatu to hand him a title and give it to the other person, then he has no issues of having him win a match like that and just having the title to himself. And that's why I said if I was Jacob Fatu in that situation, which I would assume he would probably do this anyway, just based on the sort of character that he's shown us, he has every right to strike right there, because you got to look at that. That's his first main title that he's won. And if you're like any normal person who wins a title like that, especially if it's a top prize in the company, you're not going to let somebody else steal your spotlight. So I would hope he beats the living
Oh.
shit out of him.
God, I can't wait for that moment. I can't
It's
wait.
gonna
I
happen.
can't wait for like Jacob to do that, and then Tonga to just kind of like drool and be like while he's doing
Yeah.
that, and then Tonga Loa like looking off at the crowd like in the opposite direction.
Cargill
Yeah.
like
Like,
Flash Hogan and shit.
Dude, but that's the thing. Like what Vonnie brought up. Like what was that? Hikuleo.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm wondering
Mhm.
when he's gonna he's already signed. We just don't know when he's gonna get thrown in here, and that's why I feel like they did that solo thing for a reason, because that
Mhm.
almost makes me think some part in the future they're gonna get tired of Solo shit, and then Jacob Fatu's probably gonna take that position that Solo has, and then they'll have Hikuleo when you have all the Tongans together because they are all brothers to begin with, and then
It has
they
to
can
happen
go
in the next
off.
4 weeks because I don't want that. I don't want to see this fight in the main event and Bad Blood.
No.
Please.
Hey, drop to that point.
Yeah.
Don't forget The Rock going to insert himself in there somewhere.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
that is too.
He also
Yeah.
has his
And,
people's
like-
belt
True.
too.
That is
Yeah,
true.
and like I think that's where this is going to be leading to, because it's going to be like, okay, Solo's going to continue to fail at not only getting the WWE title, he's going to keep failing at keeping Roman in check, and it's going to get to a point probably around Royal Rumble season when, you know, The Rock from Hollywood grabs his Infinity Gauntlet and is just like, all right, guess I'll take care of it myself. You
Oh
know,
no,
because he
you're giving me flashbacks to like that whole character arc that CM Punk had to go through. I don't want to see that again.
oh no, Mama
happen.
Rhodes is about to see this again.
It could happen, but I got
Mm.
vibes like that already this year. Because when I saw that
Yeah.
earlier this year, where it's like Rock coming back to take Cody's WrestleMania spot, that was giving me CM Punk flashbacks.
But
But
the
you saw
fans came
memes like
through.
that everywhere.
The fans
Where
came
like
through.
you also like Punk. I saw a whole bunch of memes like Punk's like, oh, first time, and then there's like a picture of Cody.
Oh yeah.
And no, Vash, The Rock came through. Don't you understand? It was all part of the plan.
Yeah.
Yes, that is. It was all.
It was all part of.
Spoke
It
like
was
this.
all. It was all part of.
The fucking most
Mm.
stupidest
We
thing.
could-
I mean,
well,
he
we
literally
could make
said
some
it was
money
all
here,
part of the
brother.
plan. I had it planned,
Money.
guys.
And I took that personally, face ass.
But
Oh,
any
shit.
last thoughts about the KO match itself?
Cool.
I don't. Yeah, no. I mean, again, it was really good. Again, just I think this was the most important thing from this match is just reminding people just how good Kevin Owens really is, because like he's one of my favorites personally. Like especially like ongoing right now, currently. Like he's
Oh, yeah.
he's been at every live show I've ever been at, and like the energy he gives, how we kind of have similar body types, so that's kind of cool
Yo,
in that aspect. But
I
like.
feel seen.
Right. I feel sick, and knowing that he was a former world champion too, it's just like, you go, dude. You know, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it sounds like everybody just like, and yes, thank you, Pizza Pool. I do look like KO as well in a way, so I always appreciate that. Oh man, but yeah, so let's go ahead and just kind of move on. I think we've kind of exhausted the because that's the other thing too. I saw a tweet earlier. We haven't had a pay-per-view this year yet until tonight that didn't have a Samoan on it.
Yeah.
We had no Samoans tonight.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, would
Yeah.
you count Naya from last night? Because it's like,
No.
Oh no.
On pay per
No.
view.
Yeah, it's true.
That's not
She's
paper.
on
It's not
Mhm.
pay per view.
She's on the pre-night of the pay-per-view, but she's still in Berlin involving the pay-per-view, involving
Yeah,
the PA.
well-
She's, I would consider like a half point.
Mhm. Well, speaking of things that probably should have been on the SmackDown and not on the pay-per-view, hey, look, the women's tag titles were here in Berlin. We had Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn taking on Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill in a semi-rematch from Clash of the Castle. I'm going to start real quick. I liked the match. I thought it was fine. I do really like Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn. I think they are really good. Just kind of sucks that, you know, they've been getting almost no reaction from the crowds, which really sucks because, like, especially Alba Fyre tonight, she was, with lack of a
On
better
fire.
word, on
She was
fire.
amazing.
Exactly.
She was amazing.
Dude, the spot that keeps living in my head is where she has Bianca. She goes up to do like a spinning like DDT, and she kicks Jade off the apron.
Yes.
Oh, it was so good.
Mhm.
Like, it was really good.
Oh, yeah.
But
It was like Kaylee
And
Ray.
then-
Is that you?
yeah, like okay, all right, bet, all right, fine, great. But yeah, I mean, I thought the match was fine. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad for Alba and Isla because like now that they don't have the titles, and this is what I was nervous about going into this match. I'm scared that they're now gonna just kind of fall further down the card.
I hope they don't, because even during the press conference, Bianca and Jade said that they know Alba Fyre and Isla is not done. They're still, during the press conference, they was hyping up the tag team division. They was hyping up, saying that we're going to put the show on notice, that we're going to do the best we can to bring the tag division back on track. So they're hyping up. They're doing the paperwork. They're doing the politician stuff, the business stuff. I get it. But I love how they still gave the flowers to Alba Fyre and Isla, saying that they're not done with them. So I hope that's the case, because for my girl was rooting for Jade, Cargill, and Bianca. Love it, respect it. Me, I was rooting for the Unholy Union. I wanted them to win because they are the better tag team. Are they the better superstars or the more better entertainers? No, that's not the question. There's a tag team division, and Alba Fyre and Isla have the better chemistry, and they've been doing it so well. And it sucks that they don't get the pop, because there's even just seeing. I want to talk about the chemistry even for Jade and Bianca was very well in this match, much better compared to the recent months. Also, one spot that I like that Bianca threw Alba Fyre across the rope and landed to Jade, and Jade caught her.
Oh, yeah.
And then she just threw Alba Fyre across to the barricade. Like, I felt like it was a paper dog, like just throwing her to the side. I was like, that's pure strength, but also catching her from the slide and actually just throwing her to the side. I'm like, that's just pure strength. I got to give you props, Jade. That was very well executed. Good spot.
Oh, it was
Yo, I feel like that match was, I think it was a lot better than what some give it credit for.
Agreed.
I just feel like the wrong team won. And let me start this by saying, bro, I am Bianca Belair Hive. I am Jade Cargill Hive. But to y'all's point about like Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn needing those titles to give them more legitimacy, just for them to be able to like have a spot on a card, I feel like it made more sense for them to carry it longer. Especially in a crowd like this. This is a definitive win that you get to make your tag team look like, all right, they got some legitimacy. Like they gonna hold this for a while. At least you gonna make us think they gonna hold it for a while. I feel like also just where Jade and they don't need the titles.
They don't.
Like
no, they don't.
It's just like
their names are hype enough.
Yeah,
right.
Like,
I don't know.
Keep them as like good friends, like even with Naomi too, with like the whole big three thing. Like still keep them as friends. You know, you could still have like, if you still want to keep them as a team, have them still like feud with tag teams. You know, like have like, see, this is the thing about like the floating title thing. It's like you can have the titles on one show, but then on the other show, while they're gone, start building up your other teams on that show, so that way when you know the champs go to that one, hey, there's some contenders over there, there's some legitimate competition over here too, you know. So like you could be doing that with like Jade and Bianca, or you know, even the other teams, but like no, instead you have to like throw these people together, like, you know, pure bathroom break collection, and like give us nothing with it almost, you know.
And then Survivor Series is like right there too. To your point about building teams on the other show, it's like we coming up on a point where you gonna need that inter-brand, like it's gonna come up. So I feel like now's the time for you to build some legitimacy with these two. Let them run the rings, and then all right, well now we start talking about putting them against some of these bigger, maybe an NXT tag or something like that. Like put them against somebody and really give them a definitive win before you ultimately say, all right, we're gonna put these titles on somebody else. So.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned NXT too, because like NXT has such a deep pool of female competitors, and like really good female competitors
tomorrow.
Too.
Oh yeah, that is tomorrow.
Yeah, No Mercy's tomorrow. So it's like that will bring more fruition. Like for example, like Jade and Bianca could go back to NXT and defend their title. Jade hasn't wrestled on NXT, so this also be a good experience, a good eyesight for it, because we only had her last year during Halloween Havoc, just being there as a observer or something. So she never actually wrestled on NXT. So that would be a great opportunity to show other NXT wrestlers tag team division, but then have them like. The one thing I'm not happy about with Jade and Bianca winning is that it feels like they're two OP characters that who can break them up is the question. It's like, how can we make the next people to break them up very believable? And I don't want it to be themselves. I don't want it to be self-sabotage or one of them turn on each other. It feels like too obvious when the time comes. I'd rather an
Yeah.
other good team that works together. Like, for example, Kaden and Katana. They're also a good tag team, but we haven't seen them
Yep.
on screen for the past couple weeks. They
Gonna-
were actually a great team. They were actually one of the best team in NXT who had the women's tag titles until last year. They fucking had to
Gonna-
combine the women's main roster one with the NXT one, which still was the stupidest decision. However, we're here, and I would
Damage
love to
control.
see exactly. So I would love to see
Yeah.
as an option, Katen and Katana come back and also have a round with Bianca and Jade. Like, those are options that we gotta build. No matter if they don't have good promo, we gotta show them in their in ring that they have the skills.
You put
And
the
that's-
titles on
Mhm.
Goku and Saitama. That's all I got to say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. And
Good
the,
job.
and the
with
th-
it.
and the thing is with that, Vash, because I'm very high on Kaden and Katana, you're gonna have to rebuild them again.
Yes.
Yep.
Because the way that they've been
Mhm.
booked, you can't take them seriously. And it's not me saying that, it's just how the audience, especially
Exactly, yeah.
casuals, because that's what they look into the most. Casual audiences are not going to really care for them.
Where's
Because that's
Lyra?
what.
Yeah.
She was
Um,
injured because of the fusion.
No.
No, she wasn't
No.
injured for fusion.
No,
Well,
that was just Kaden and.
It was more
Uh,
storyline.
Storyline,
Yeah.
okay.
I think Lyra's was storyline, but yeah, I think
I don't even.
I think it was Kaden,
remember
yeah.
her getting taken out. I thought it was just the
It's
party
Nina,
girls.
most likely.
Maybe.
We need a women's mid card title on the main.
We've been
roster,
saying that
but
for the past
that's
it. Yeah.
months on our show.
Yeah.
Like, a US.
Yeah. It's funny. It's
and
funny how
IC.
they want to do this speed title. They have that in mind, which is
Mhm.
essentially a mid card title to begin with. Yeah,
And by the
they're
way-
not doing one on the main roster.
It starts this Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
it
guess
does.
who's watching it? Not me.
Hey,
Look,
we don't
we're
got 3
getting
minutes to
Lyra
check
and
it out.
Io first.
No. I'll
getting Lyra and
spend 3
Io.
minutes watching a YouTube short of something else.
Oh,
Justice.
I'll watch it because
just-
Io's on there. And Lyra.
Io and Lyra is starting off, so I will watch that because I'm very high on them. But I'll see how it goes. But at the same time, it's like if you could take the time to do that, then you obviously have the mindset where you could do it on the main roster besides NXT.
Mhm.
I
But
do wanna
it's like-
say the execution of the pin, seeing their move of Jade and Bianca with their double team move is very well executed. I like to see it,
Yeah.
and it was really nice to see that. I think this is our 3rd or 4th time seeing it as a pinfall. After it was well executed. The whole balance, their strength. They're 2 strong individuals and showing their strength by doing the whole flip and everything with the German suplex at the end, and then having the pinfall with Jade. And like they said at the press conference, there's 2 people that love to compete with one another, but they rise with each other. So I love to see that they take turns with their pins and they help each other grow.
Yeah. So I have a couple things I want to just briefly mention. And then we could probably move on to another
Cool.
juicy segment here.
Oh, I do want to share some thoughts on this match, though.
Oh yeah, of course. You know what?
Yeah.
You know, go ahead, drop.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
Yeah.
like my main issue when it comes to this is, like Vonnie said, I feel like the Unholy Union should have got this to begin with. I mean, when we did our predictions last night, I said Bianca and Jade because it just seemed like they were going down that direction to begin with. But my main issue with this is I've been hearing this exact same stance all the time whenever it comes to these titles, where it's like, okay, we're going to make them mean something. We're going to make them feel special again, because Sasha and Bayley were the only 2 people that actually made that title feel like something back then when it was first introduced all those years ago, and they actually wanted to put a lot of focus on it. Even when Mercedes and Naomi won the title together, they wanted to actually make it mean something, have some sort of value instead of just being a set prop that you just carry around just for show. So like ever since then, it's just honestly hard for me to really take that like whole stance seriously, because nothing has really changed. It's always felt like the same thing, and if you're gonna keep going down this same direction, then you might as well just get rid of the titles to begin with. You could do like easily, like with the 24/7 title. I'm not saying it's at like the same level, but it's like if you're not gonna do anything with it to make it really feel like something, then just get rid of it. And like with Bianca and Jade, the only reason why I said earlier that it's gonna be themselves is because that's the sort of direction I could see it going down. And even if it is a predictable direction, being predictable isn't a bad thing as long as it's laid out correctly and it makes sense depending on the sort of story that you're going to tell. Because it seems like I mean, to me, it feels like they want to put these titles on Jade and Bianca only because they want it to turn into something into the future when it comes to their overall storyline of each other, especially once we hit to the end, especially once we like head into January next year, almost around Mania season, because it feels like they want to do this match with Jade and Bianca down the road. Like that's pretty much end game Jade and Bianca towards the end. So you got to figure out exactly that's the end goal. How are we going to get there? And it's either going to be Bianca feeling the same way, some way about Jade, or Jade feeling some way about Bianca. Because we've seen storylines like this play out in WWE before, and Triple H and Shawn especially like taking things from their feuds and incorporating it into other superstars. Like I think a more recent one was like an NXT with Shawn when it came to the whole betrayal between Triple H and Shawn all those years ago, and he applied that onto Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. So they like incorporating their own storylines when it came to things that they did in the past and bringing it onto like other superstars that are on main roster, NXT, wherever the case may be. So I'd rather them just have something that's special to them besides these titles, because it's always tag titles. Okay, we get that. You want it. You want to make it feel special again. Okay, convince me. But what is like the real story here? It seems like there's no real story for me to really grab on and like really sink my teeth into. That's my main issue with this. That's why whenever the matches come on, it's hard for me to take seriously. When Kane and Katana won those titles, there actually was a part of me that actually thought that it would have started to feel special again because they were a legitimate tag team in NXT. Unfortunately, they're gonna have to rebuild themselves up again, which they shouldn't have to begin with, but unfortunately it's like that. But it's just so hard to really see what sort of future is for these women's tag titles. It's just really hard for me to really look really deep into it.
The only thing I'll add to that point is, as far as like the legitimacy of the title, you spitting right now. The one team that also had the title where it was like, yo, this could be something crazy. We could get some real graps out of this. When Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler won those titles, that could have been something very monumental to give the title some legitimacy. Yep. I don't know if there was like a Ronda thing. I don't know what happened there. I don't know, but like that would have been so cool. Like I want to see two real, like, I don't know if they call them the stud line for whatever the case may be, but
yes. Oh my god, Shayna, I love that. I love that name so much better.
It's hilarious.
It's just stud line.
That shit is crazy. If you want to give them the title and have them go on a reign and make it mean something, then by all means, maybe that might be it. But I just the hot potato, like you just didn't need to do it here. Personally, that's what I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. And by the way, just a heads up, Ronda and Shayna, when they won those titles, they beat Alba, Fyre, and Isla Dawn.
Yep.
Because that was when they unified them with like the NXT titles. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
And like that's just kind of sucks about the women's tag titles, because it's like for the longest time, and even till today, even with like Bianca and Jade holding it, they've always almost like 80% of the time, I want to say, have only been used to push a singles feud. Like you look at former champions, there was like what, Asuka and freaking Charlotte had the belts at one point, I think it was. You had again Shayna and Ronda, because like everybody knew, oh, this is gonna just still end up with them breaking up and blah blah blah. Like that's always been the problem with those titles.
We did have a good team recently, early this year or last year. It was Raquel and Liv. A lot of people was behind them, like, hey, Liv and Raquel, they actually could mean something with this. They had a good chemistry, they had a good dynamic, they had good teamwork. But then one of them got hurt. Raquel has her Raquel has her health issues, so things happen. But there was good options for them to actually hold the titles, and they were actually two-time champions, I believe, at the time as well.
Yeah.
But just a couple quick things I want to just note really quick, because I noticed this thing, and especially you, Triple H. I'm almost 90% sure that you're watching us right now, because thank you for giving Jade Cargill her damn own entrance. I have been on this for months because it's like, okay, I'm not gonna lie, and I've said this before. I want Bianca to kind of like go away for like a month or two. I'm just kind of Bianca'd out for a bit. I think she just needs a little bit of a refresh. Maybe, do something more. But like, it always bothered me because I love Jade's music. I think it's awesome. I think it like really fits her, and like that entrance. Yeah, oh, it's so good. And like, it always gets interrupted by
Like
I need a roll, like all that stuff. Yeah, and I'm just like,
hold on, that song a bop though. That song a bop.
It is. But it's like it's such a tonal shift.
With Jade, you hear like 25 second at most, a good 45 second, and then after that transition into Bianca for hearing the next 2 minutes of her song, and I'm like, wait, but Jade music pops, and also it's like a weird transition when you go into like a nice type of soft beat mellow to a type of pop. It's like that's a weird transition. Like, unless you're gonna do a little remix, then sure, probably do a little nice remix for both of them. If not, give Jade her moment, get her to the ring, let her song go, and then Bianca's turn. And that's why I love they did this for this PLE.
I'm gonna stop you there on that remix bit because I was watching wrestling in 2009, and I remember A-Ma and their mama had a remix theme song. Don't do that. No, bro. Everybody named mama break the walls. Well, break the walls. No. Hell no.
Look,
I'm sorry.
Some of them can mix fine, but yes.
You got point. I forgot about those. You got about those. But Watkins, let us know your last ones to do mention.
Oh yeah. So the other thing I wanted to mention was commentary tonight. They've been on point. They were on point all night.
Yeah, all night.
They were
oh yeah.
And especially with this match, like you had Wade Barrett who what was it? He mentioned this. So he's like, okay, the champs are taking out the veteran, because this is when like Bianca was in the ring and all that. He had mentioned, okay, they're taking out the veteran, leaving the newbie on the apron. And it's just like, okay, the newbie who's, she doesn't know too much about the ring. She doesn't know like what she could do and all that stuff. So it's like, okay, this is smart, because like now they're going to be like, their game plan is off balance now. So it was mentioning that, but like there are other times tonight, and we'll especially get into that with the next match, where like commentary, like Wade Barrett and Michael Cole were just on point all night. Especially Michael Cole with like the rules of the match, because he was on like every referee tonight too. It was kind of funny.
Why are you going only on Jade? Why are you not going on the actual champions? I'm like, thank you, Michael. You are literally speaking for the fans and audience. Watching
he's sounding like a fan.
Yeah, he's like, because
exactly.
I hate how the referee was telling Jade to go back, but then the referee, he literally has the champions taking up Bianca, just kicking her, and I'm like, ref, can you turn around and tell them to stop too?
Yeah.
Like, hey, one of you get back in the ring. One of you in the apron. It's only focusing on Jade. Like, we get it. It's probably for the spot. It's probably for the moment. But ref, can you make it too obvious? Can you make it more like organic? It feels like too on the wall for people that are reviewing your show or critiquing. Like, can you make it more organic where it's not so off?
Yeah. Oh man. But I hated that with the refs and all that. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. We're going to move on to our next match here. We had a strap match with Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk. And thank you, Michael Cole, for telling me the rules of the match throughout the match. How he was getting angry too with like people breaking the rules. He's just like, ref, like turn the light off. He stopped his momentum. Turned the light off. His momentum's done. Turn it off. So, it's just like, Michael Cole, calm down.
So, whenever they touch each corner, whenever they get distracted or get knocked down, it has to reset. Because that one, I was a bit confused.
We're all being respectful. So like,
whoever wants to go, explain me so I can understand.
Yeah.
So I think it would have been easier if they had said a time limit between each like smack of the turnbuckle. Because like it gets very loose when you're just like, oh, if their momentum stopped and all that. Because it's like, well, how can you tell? Is that like referee's discretion or whatever? So like, I think that would have probably made it a little easier with these rules.
Yeah.
But So it's basically like, okay, you touch a turnbuckle, you have a set amount of time, referee's discretion to hit the next one. Once you hit all four, that's the end of the match. And it doesn't matter if, you hit them at the same time or anything like that. It's whoever's the first one to get it gets it.
Funny because like when I was watching it, they didn't inherently say this at all, but like I kind of was reading it as like, all right, well, if they touch the rope, they got the time to touch the other one, but if you get hit by the other person, then it automatically resets.
Yeah,
Because that's what they were resetting it. But like I don't know the rules. Again, thank you, Michael Cole, because I don't know the rules of this shit. Like,
Yeah.
The last time I remember something like this was it the JBL Eddie Guerrero match? There was probably like a few after that, right?
There probably was, but that's like the one that always like pops into my head, and I think I mentioned that one last night too.
Yeah, you did.
For like the rules of this one. I think there was probably another one though.
And I hope Michael Cole gets some rest, because this man, I feel like, was on his feet all like for each match. He kept just getting up, is just screaming. And I love how this man kept calling Drew McIntyre, "You hypocrite! You said that CM Punk always came at you, but you were so impatient. You attacking from behind. You a hypocrite!"
Dude.
And just kept screaming and waving like, "He's gonna come at you. He's gonna come at you. This is why he don't like you." I love
You
how
thought he
almost
did,
did.
bro.
their banter has been going back and
Oh,
forth.
yeah.
I love it. I miss Wade Barrett and Michael Cole's. Their relationship on the mic has been so good. But just this segment was my favorite throughout too, because Wade, obviously he's like a Drew fan, like, as his friend off the air, so and everything, so he has to play that role. And then Michael Cole is like a Drew hater. He was on this whole match, he was a Drew hater. He's like, "Nah, you hypocrite, you can't be doing this." And then he was also to CM Punk, "Bro, follow the rules. Why you going at this? Just fucking touch the rope. Just go to each corner." And I love how CM Punk just kept telling us, like the audience, like his own bike, like, "You know what? I'm gonna smack this dude one more time. You know what? I'm gonna put a GTS one more dude this time. You know what? I'm gonna smack this man one more time. I'm tired of his bullshit." He just kept thinking about, like, you know what? This man needs some dirt. This man needs to go to sleep. This man needs to shut the fuck up. And I love that CM Punk was on no gives time. He's gonna just give you the energy, like, "Oh, I asked for this match. Yes, I did ask for the strap match, but that means I'm gonna be winning, and I'm happy my prediction came right from last night. He got that 3-0 on a strap match."
Yeah.
I just wish they
And-
could something different than a strap match, and that's just because I'm a child.
Yeah.
That's it. You got it.
Look, man, don't you want a strap? Don't you want it like tied to your wrist as your new bracelet? Like, I don't. So yeah, I agree with you. But yeah, no, okay. So like, I kind of want to talk about commentary a little bit more, because like,
Go ahead, yeah.
again, like what you were saying, like Wade and Michael Cole have such good chemistry. It's like, okay, kind of in the similar veins that I was talking about with like Cody and KO being a little old school but modernized. Michael Cole and Wade Barrett tonight were very old school in how they were like handling commentary. It was very like babyface commentator, heel commentator.
Yep.
And like I think the best part too, especially with like modern day, is we have justified heels. So it's like, okay, yes, Wade Barrett would be on the side of Drew McIntyre. Did you not see when Drew almost got fired after Scotland?
Yep.
Like, Wade Barrett was the one holding him back, Like, so you have that, and like, you have him yelling at the ref, "Oh, get them in there, get the back in the ring." But like, when Drew's on top, it's just like, "Yeah, it's no disqualification. Go on there, boy. Yeah, you're doing great." Oh, man, but this was a pretty brutal match. I am so happy we got the brutalization that we did with this.
Also, let's put credit where credit is due. I don't know if this was done on purpose from CM Punk, but he gave the homage to last year on tribute to his he had the same white outfit style, and he also was bleeding like in ON last year when he fought Samoa Joe. In this one, he was also bleeding, which I don't remember what made him bleed in this match, because I felt like I was watching the match, and like 20 seconds I turned away and then looked back, then I see his whole face bleeding. I'm like, "Bitch, when did you start bleeding? Like, how did it happen? Like, did you again do like a little pin on your head or something? When did this happen?"
probably.
Yo, CM Punk be blading harder than Auto Rocket and Rocket Power, dog. Like every single chance he get to start like letting that crimson mask pop up, he'll do what he got to do on that front.
Right?
It's
It
beautiful
came
though.
out of nowhere. Like at first, I'm
Oh,
like
yeah.
staring at him like, when did you start bleeding from your head? It's got Michael Cole like he has a crack in his head. He's bleeding from the back. I'm like, I'm staring at his head. I'm like, I don't see the crack. Like, where's the fake blood? I don't see it.
Yeah. Aw.
Aw.
And like, cause that's the thing. Is like Drew got him in there, and like you can kind of see like the little speckle like right here, and like you kind of see the gears. I love watching a wrestler like when the gears start turning in their head. Like, oh, and like Drew starts like beating on Punk, and he starts headbutting him. I'm just like, oh shit, now he's really gonna be busted open. But oh man, so. Man, where do we go with this match? Because it's like we got some brutalization. We got the end of the bracelet thing, which thank God. I know we talked about that last
I
night.
said it last night. I'm
with-
happy it happened. The MacGuffin is gone. The MacGuffin, the bracelet
Yeah.
is gone. We don't. If there's a round
Although-
3 at Bad Blood, cool. Let it happen,
There's-
whatever. But the MacGuffin is gone. The bracelet, he's back to his same self. He doesn't see a bracelet being on another man and sees red. Like he's right now. Oh, he's in peace.
Well, to answer your question, Watkins, there's only one
Mm-hmm.
way to go with this match to really end the feud, and that's a Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood.
Yeah, give
But
it to
remember,
me. Give it to
that,
me.
that one last PLE, CM Punk was like, "You're not gonna do a Hell in a Cell as the first match." Like, da da da. Like, what kind of shit booking is that? So, like, it would be kind of funny if it popped up being a Hell in a Cell.
It would definitely would,
Mm.
yeah.
He'd be like, "Yeah, I changed my mind."
I can only imagine the press conference after that. Somebody probably bring that up in the press conference. I thought you said you weren't going to do this.
Well, I
As he's
changed my
eating his
mind.
I hope he has, like, a-
mark, okay.
And
I
like,
want-
but then
I
the
want
main
that.
question is like, who's going to be the one to initiate the match? And I personally think it's going to be
Mhm.
Drew, because I spoke about this yesterday when we did our predictions, that right now in Drew McIntyre's mind, he's absolutely like all over the place when it comes to Punk getting a win over him, and that's going to eat him up
Mhm.
alive, knowing how Punk has a win over him, knowing how much hatred he has for Punk, that he's probably going to go to Adam Pearce or just demand a match himself to have Punk in a Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood to just put an end to their feud once and for all. I definitely feel like it's going to be Drew.
I think
Yeah.
that to that point, there's going to be a number one. Like we said, we don't usually see the number one contenders matches for like a lot of the world titles and everything.
Yeah.
Raw's going to do a number one contender match for the person that we'll talk about in that final match. And CM Punk is going to be in there, and he might have a chance to win. And then boom, Drew comes right back in the mix.
Yeah,
pure
he's right.
hater. So that might be the move.
Yep.
It's
And then
true.
it's full circle.
I definitely see that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes
because Drew
sense.
could be like,
Mhm.
"All right, you did it to me, bitch. I'm gonna come ruin your chance. What's up?
Yup.
You're a hater of
Yeah.
me. I'm a hater of you." I would say this.
Exactly.
I didn't expect for Drew McIntyre to get 3 GTS back to back to end the match. I didn't really expect that.
That was crazy.
That's something I didn't expect for even the third one, like to actually pick him up and Drew to just follow up with and get another GTS, which was unexpected. And I forgot what's the finisher that he did to him where Drew was tapping out
Anaconda Vice?
Oh, sharpshooter?
yeah, sharpshooter. I
No, it's
believe.
sharpshooter.
That was
Yeah.
beautiful, Drew, to actually see him tap out, and me and my have like,
Mhm.
bitch, you can't tap out. Just kept taking the burn and just seeing fucking CM Punk the whole time like, yes, motherfucker.
So
Like, his
I'm
reaction
gonna
was
throw.
amazing.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw this question out to you guys really quick because we've had 2 matches so far. Which one do you guys prefer?
I prefer this one.
The strap.
You prefer this one, the
Yeah.
strap.
As far as
What
like
about,
the
what
World
about
Heavyweight versus WWE.
no? As far as like the
I see what
Drew
you're saying.
Drew Punk matches, yeah.
This one. And the reason why I prefer this one the most is because I think CM Punk needed this more than. Let me walk that back. Not be disrespectful. I feel like this did the most for CM Punk, considering like this is his first singles match, I think, since what was it, SummerSlam, and then before that he's only really had like
8
2
years
this year.
ago? I believe 8
Yeah,
years.
Yeah.
I think he needed this more than anything to show like, all right, well, I'm not just like injury prone. Like, bro, I'm out here. Like I'm grinding. We doing this.
Agree.
And I think that
Yeah.
that did the most for him in this sense, and I think that that's why I prefer this more.
Mhm.
I will
So,
agree with a sentiment that out of this match, this was my favorite because I'm a CM Punk
Mhm.
fan. As people know, I have like 4 of shirts of the guy that's literally best in the world.
Oh, y'all both
Mhm.
matching.
Yeah. I just have the AEW
Yeah,
version.
nice.
He has a WE version because in the
Yeah.
bottom you will
Mhm.
see it literally says AEW version. So
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have one.
it's good for CM Punk in this fight because a lot of people was
NWO.
expecting a guy in his age, in his time, who back then was like the John Cena, the Randy, like all of them had their own style of not a lot of flips. It was more of the brutality. It was more of the clothesline, and it was simple stuff that they would do of the jump rope. But now in
Mhm.
this generation of pro wrestlers, there's a lot of different styles. A lot of people could be like the Ricochets. A lot of people could be like AJ Styles. There's a lot of people that are very similar now. So with CM Punk, he had to use a lot of his old arsenal and bring up new ones. And I love that he showed that out. I really love this match compared to the first one that we had back in SummerSlam. And a lot of people saw the leaks, the leaks videos of pictures from back early this year during the holiday season. He wasn't that good in the cooking aspect when he was fighting Dom and other people during the holiday tour. So it showed him like, I see him, you seem a bit rusty. What's going on? So I'm one of those people that was happy that he was out for 5 months because of Royal Rumble, where he could go back into training mode and he doesn't feel rushed to get back in the ring. So I love
That
how
boy look good right now.
he looks great. Like he
Oh, yeah.
literally
Oh, yeah.
like bro like hot as hell red
Yeah.
from all those whips from the belt. But he looks the best I've ever seen him since AW compared to now in the past 8 years. So I'm very happy that he took his time, he took his training, he got back his triceps, his other body parts back in the ring. Because when you're in this age and when you've been rusty for 8 years, it takes time for your body to get used to this. Like bro got hit by a 13-foot whip, not just once, not twice, but a good 10, 12 times getting hit by the whip. You're about to just right now, you're probably in the locker room or you're back home in the hotel with a whole ice pack right on your back and it's burning. So I get it. And I'm very proud for CM Punk to actually do such a good match that he showed us. Can't wait to see what else he does from now until WrestleMania next year and everything else.
Yep.
Well, in this even group of 4, I feel like the odd man out because I prefer the SummerSlam match actually.
Really?
Like
Really?
I was watching this match and like watching everything go down. It's like CM Punk was doing fine. There were times where I thought, okay, you look a little more gassed than usual, but I'm gonna let that slide because things happen, obviously, and plus traveling, whatever bullshit. But like the whole time, like I'm also kind of thinking, okay, Drew's doing a lot of the work here. Like he's doing a lot of the moves, because like a lot of the moves that Punk did were like big moves. So like one of the first moves he freaking does is a GTS in the match, and like he ends it with 3 of them.
Remember, Drew attacked CM Punk before the match, so he technically got him from
Oh, I know.
100% health into like a good 70% health. So his first opponent was
Oh,
already
yeah.
injured before the match officially started. So I'm like,
Yeah.
he was already half injured
Well, like-
to even be broken down.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like I'm not like complaining about like, oh, he used the GTS so early. Like that's not what I'm like really like mentioning. It's like it's more just like it just felt like Drew put in a lot more work in the match comparatively to CM Punk, and it's like I don't know if that was just by design or like what of it. I don't know. Like I think for me, just like the story going into SummerSlam, since again it was, I think part of it too was just like this is the first match. Like this is Punk's first singles match back in WWE that we get to see. Not like the live show stuff. That like this is Punk back. And yeah, the extra caveat of here's Seth Rollins doing this thing, but it's like we still had Punk doing stuff and. I don't know. I guess for me, I preferred how he looked in that match compared to this one. And I mean, I'm glad he won this one. I think he needed the win. And it's not really saying, oh, he looked like dog shit or anything, but like, I don't know. Something just felt off for me watching this a little bit. So, I don't know. I mean, that's just my humble 2 cents on it and everything. But I think one thing I did like about this match, because we had a couple moments with like some weapons, so like a chair and a table were involved. That like Drew set up his chair, Punk set up his table, but they both ended up getting put through it.
Yeah.
So it's just like another like it kind of works on that theme of like, oh, they're both kind of getting in their own way because they're so obsessed with hurting the other one. So it's like, okay, Drew sets up this chair. Oh, he goes right through it. Oh, Punk sets up this table. Oh, gets baby dropped right through it. Like, I like that little aspect of it. Yeah, I mean, again, it was brutal. I'm glad we got it. I'm glad it turned out how it did. It's just, you know, I did have my little thoughts with it, going through it and all that. And go ahead, say Lawkins. I don't give a crap. Hey, that means Law's in that name, and I do like Law from One Piece, so thank you for that. You know, room and all that. And I do like to drop. I think it was you, Drop, that mentioned it earlier. The whole number one contenders match thing, or maybe it's Vonnie. I can't remember. Short term memory and all that. About like the number one contenders match being the catalyst towards the Hell in a Cell.
Yes.
I like that. I like that a lot. I like
Because
that storyline going forward.
Also talk about what happened at the press conference when he said, what happened with Drew.
Oh, please
I'm
do.
done with that. My eye is for the gold. I'm coming for Gunther. So he's literally putting the claim. He's putting his hand in the ring that I'm doing Drew. That's in the back burner. I'm going for Gunther now because he said the best of the people that won at their main event with Gunther versus Randy. Now he's like, hey, but you didn't fight the best in the world, and that's me coming next. So I love how, you know, CM Punk uses his slogan as always, you know, somehow to intertwine into the promo, the conversation, and it proves to his point, like, hey, I'm still the best in the world. Unless you beat me, Gunther, then you become the next best in the world. So I'm really curious to see how that feud will start, aka in the next 2 days. So with Gunther and CM Punk happen in the future, it'll be pretty interesting as a nice story work.
Okay. Yeah, good. All right. Well, does anybody have any other thoughts on the strap match with CM Punk, with Drew McIntyre, with the whole story going forward?
I'm good.
No.
My only piece is just that 13-hour flight or however long for Punk about to be. He gonna be hurting in that seat.
Oh,
He went to the
yeah.
table.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna
Oh,
take
man,
that
that's gonna
rest, but I
hurt.
got my bracelet. Larry and AJ are good back
Yeah.
in my arms.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That's,
yeah, we
That
got to see.
bracelet
Oh yeah.
never broke.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
actually another thing I do want to say. Heading into their match at Bad Blood, which more than likely is going to be a thing because now it's pretty much going to be like a rubber match between the two. They're going to have to come out and see who's going to come out on top towards the end because they're both 1-1 now. So my only question is, what other layers is going to be added into this feud? Like, let's say hypothetically it does go down the direction we discuss, and there is a number one contender spot for Gunther's title, and Punk cost Drew that opportunity. I mean, Drew cost Punk that opportunity to have a chance to go after Gunther for the world title. What else would be added into that? Like, is AJ gonna factor into this? I don't necessarily
quick
think
match?
she is, but no. I don't think there's. I think it's gonna come down to a Hell in a Cell match between the both of them because when you have a lot of heated feuds, especially what we saw with Cody and Seth when it first started off, they ended up ending their feud inside of a Hell in a Cell, and that's just been a main thing that Triple H has been doing when it comes to a lot of these feuds, especially like, even though it wasn't like a trilogy between Finn Balor and Edge, they wanted to settle their feud in a Hell in a Cell match because that's pretty much like, okay, this is the final battle between the both of them. We're going to settle everything right here. That's it. And a lot of people, I believe, have been speculating for a while now, and probably months, that they were going to end up having a Hell in a Cell match to pretty much cap off their entire feuds. I don't think it's going to be an I Quit match or anything like that. Pretty sure it's going to be Hell in a Cell. But I'm wondering, like, what other factors is going to, like, I want to see what other factors are going to be added into this to, like, make it even more heated jumping into it. Like, besides a championship opportunity being costed, because we did see that with Drew. So it's kind of like that isn't really new entirely, but I can definitely see that being added in with Punk to get him a little pissed off. But there has to be something else to get Punk pissed off or to get Drew pissed off to, like, head even deeper into their Bad Blood match. Like, I'm not saying it's gonna happen. We'll say hypothetically AJ just insert herself into this feud, and maybe that starts getting some heated stuff in between Punk and Drew. If Drew says some really vulgar stuff about AJ or whatever the case may be, like, I'm just wondering what other layers are going to be added into this to get it like more intense.
Somebody got to get hit by a car.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. Yes.
Somebody got to get hit by a car at this point.
Pretty much.
I don't know if this kind of helps with your point or with your, concern with that. But maybe adding a little extra caveat for that Hell in a Cell match, because, Adam Pearce, he has a tough job. He's got Drew and Punk running around. He's got Bronson Reed putting men through cars and all that. Oh. Enough is enough, like, why not have the stipulation of that Hell in a Cell match be, hey, loser leaves Raw? Because, hey, you can fix multiple things with that. By having Drew lose, go to SmackDown. Hey, look, there's a top heel for you.
You actually bring up a good point. Because that's what they did with Jey Uso. Jey Uso left SmackDown, but then got brought because of Cody. Yes. Yep. That's a good way to separate the feud between with CM Punk and Drew. All right, cool. You guys, whoever loses, you're going to go to the next show. That's why we're switching around.
Get them out of there.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. We're tired of your ass. Get out of here.
Yeah. I like
Get
that.
out of here.
I support it.
Yep. Kicking them out, kicking him out, and much like getting kicked out by Adam Pearce on Raw, we are going to move on to our next match, which was about people getting kicked out of their own little community, little family that they made. That's right. We had dirty-ass Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan taking on Mommy and bisexual Undertaker. Guys, how do we feel about this match?
Overall thoughts, I will say I was really satisfied. Even though anybody could say that it was predictable that the Judgment Day was going to appear, interrupt, and get the people distracted. I was not shocked how Rhea won. That's how she always win. And I love to have seen Dom just getting destroyed by Mommy and him trying to kind of lie to her, like, in the ring. Like, you know what? I'm sorry. Come here for the hug, girl. Come here for the hug. I'm sorry. I'm a wuss. Yeah, she's coming for the hug. And girl was like,
wait, do we not see Watkins just staring into the eyes of Mommy right now?
What? Sorry, what did you say? I got distracted.
Yes, Mommy. Yes, tell me what to do.
Yes, Mommy.
So,
oh, man.
I just love how all that happened. Overall, this feud of this mixed tag team, it was very well executed. Was it predictable? Yes, but it was well executed that I had a good time, entertaining wise.
All right, cool, awesome.
I can wait until this point until we like get to the end of this talking about this match. I have a neckbeard hot take about what I think maybe coulda shoulda happened and what would have helped the Judgment Day personally. But
I'm so glad you're on the same boat. We might be on the same wavelength with this.
I want to let you go and you say let that land. I want to hear what you think.
You know what? I'm gonna let Drop go ahead. I'm gonna Drop. How'd you feel about this match overall, really quick, before we start digging that 6 feet hole that I'm gonna keep digging myself tonight?
I mean, personally, it did what I thought it was gonna do. Like I mentioned, is pretty much give Rhea a way to get back to live again, because, like we saw with Solo when he pinned Cody at Money in the Bank, as much as that image like gives me nightmares. It pretty much like when you pin the champion, that automatically gives you a title shot because, you pinned the champion, that means that you have every right to face them. So by Rhea pinning Liv, that pretty much gives her an automatic title shot towards Liv at Bad Blood, which makes sense given the kind of feud they have. It definitely fits in that category. So when it came to that, that's the sort of direction I saw it going down. So, like, other than that, personally, besides them getting their revenge and besides them doing what they needed to do in order to progress the story even further into this match, and also when it comes to Damian and Finn, that's also just leading into their eventual match at Bad Blood 2. I don't really have that many thoughts on that, personally.
I just want people to put more respect on Liv's name, because Liv was working, bro.
Oh, yeah.
She was putting in some work.
She definitely did. That's the thing I like, is that before a lot of people didn't really see much in her, but I'm happy this version of Liv, personally, to me, is probably the best Liv we've seen.
Thank you.
Oh, this is the best version.
it definitely put her in that category of like main event what stars when it comes to the girls on Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, or whatever brand she goes in the future. You know, she's definitely a main eventer now, just based on the rebrand that she has. Because back then I can understand why, but now based on that new character change that she has, she definitely is put in that category.
I got a soft spot for New Jerseyans being from New Jersey, but like Liv, I really feel like, bro, that's you could build around this right now. I think don't take that title off her yet.
Nah, not yet.
I love what they're cooking with Liv. A lot of people girls shunning on them. Liv putting the work. I used to still do follow Liv's IG, and girl will post her IG story while she was in her vacation time, healing from her surgery and everything. Girl was posting that she was going for acting classes, improving her work, and improving her monologue, knowing how to put up a show. So it showed from where we are now, from what she used to do, putting the work in practice is showing into fruition, where we're seeing it on screen of how much she has gotten better. Even in this match, there's a few moves that she did on Rhea where it's like, yes, that's our girl. She did that. There's a few moves I didn't know, and there's a reference out there that showed that she did a move, and it looked amazing.
Yeah. So, okay.
Sunset
I'm gonna start
flip into the barricade, though. That
was amazing.
Like,
that was so good.
God damn, bro.
Like, man, in multiple ways. God damn. Like, yeah.
Go ahead and cook, Walt.
Look, okay, listen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and ignorant children of the Isles, gather around, okay, all right. Keep in mind, everything I say, and possibly what we say, is all in kayfabe. It's all about the character, not the person, blah, 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 whatever. If you guys cast your minds back to 20 hours ago, roughly, when we were giving our predictions, I had made the prediction for, Liv and Dom to go over.
Yeah.
Well, not only just Raquel Rodriguez, but mainly like Liv and Dom going over. And part of my argument for that was, hey, in the whole few weeks that we've had of the Judgment Day kicking Rhea and Damian Priest out, they've been kind of punked out a lot by Damian and Rhea. And Vash, I think you pointed out with Jade and Bianca earlier how OP they were. This is like freaking Big Mom and Kaido against, like, on roof piece action. Like,
yeah, I can see that because that did throw me off when I saw Damian did like almost 3 super kicks towards Carlitos, JD McDonough, and then Finn Balor, and then when he did the 3rd super kick towards Finn Balor, I felt like he got hit and then did like extra type of movement, like, oh shit, I'm going down. I'm like, Finn. Bitch, what the fuck you doing? Why are you going down like that? Like, you're like the prince. Like, you gotta be more than that. And I was a bit disappointed. Like, I get it. Damian's a big dude. He probably has size 15 foot. He probably knock you down with that big ass foot, like Bigfoot. Maybe, I get it. But it felt like he was too OP in that moment. I get it. Probably momentum. Probably it was hype in the moment, enjoying the crowd. But I feel like Finn Balor has to get knocked out by 3 super kicks, I feel like, instead of just getting 1 knockdown and then he's down for the count. When, like, the next feud that our boy Damian is supposed to have is with Finn. And if Finn is falling down so easy, it doesn't make it as a strong momentum.
This is where you rebuild Balor and make him that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And, like, tonight, I really felt like Judgment Day needed the win. I mean, even if it was like you could still get to Liv and Rhea in any other avenue, but like, because I thought the match was about to be over when Finn interfered, and I thought like Dom was gonna get that pin because hey, that could just add to Dom's continued not confidence, ego, like his ego just expanding and getting bigger and bigger until it finally just goes up, But like that's just my biggest thing is just like the Judgment Day as it is now kind of needed a big win. Again, same thing like I think Vonnie, you were talking about it earlier with like Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn. They needed the big win to kind of solidify what they were. And that's what the Judgment Day needed here. Even if there was a bunch of shenanigans going on, they still needed the W. Like on paper, it needed to say Dominic Mysterio. God, I hate how I said his name, but anyways, and Liv Morgan defeated Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest. Like they needed that on paper, at least in my eyes. So Vonnie, I don't know if you were like on the same wavelength as me, but go ahead, regale us with your tales of the tale.
Yeah, no, I 1,000,000% agree with you. I'm gonna go even further than that too, because we
Oh,
going
please do.
We going neckbeard, but like I think that the match should have been won by Liv and Dom. Shenanigans, maybe a roll up pin victory, you get them out of there, and that's it. And this helps you extend this further because like I don't think you can really end this right here with everything like that full long span of Liv of Dom and Rhea being a couple. Like, and I don't know if y'all noticed, but like Rhea has not hit Dom with the Riptide yet. Which I think that that's ultimately going to set up to a match with Rhea versus Dom. I think that's where they're going to. I think that's going to be the one intergender match that they pop out, and it makes the most sense because Rhea being Rhea and Dom, who he is, Dom. I think we're getting Dirty Dom. My ignorant take that I will say though is I feel like y'all mentioned Raquel being somebody who steps in as an enforcer, maybe possibly being someone to I don't think so. And I know that this person might have like visa issues, but like, bro, Stephanie Vaquer in Judgment Day makes fucking sense, bro. Stephanie Vaquer in Judgment Day.
Don't tease me. Don't tease me.
No, it
don't tease me with a good time. I know. Yeah,
character. Like past the point of the character, past the point of like just like, you know, the occult stuff that she has and everything of that nature. I feel like also for, I don't know if her English or where that stands, but like putting her near somebody like Dom and being able to kind of help build with them in that trio, that helps bolster the Judgment Day and gives them more wins because like, not for nothing, y'all keep calling this man Finn Balor, and that shit hurts my soul as a Finn Balor stan. Like, I need my man to get more victories. I hate that with every fiber of my spirit.
I've never heard that one. That one just got me laughing. Wow.
Bro, Finn Balor breaks my spirit every time because that man is my favorite wrestler in WWE right now. And it's like, I need... Put that title on.
I wish I was there when he was there, you know, getting the Universal, or even there when he was in the NXT, you know, being the Dark Prince. I wish I was there seeing the rise of the Prince. So I wish I was there.
It was beautiful, dude. Bro. I was there. That
the NXT days.
I was there.
Dude, freaking Samoa Joe.
Yo, bangers.
Give me that shit.
Oh my
god. Even his second run in NXT, like that second run in NXT was
phenomenal,
really good. Like, and it was leading up to him versus Gunther. Well, back then Walter, but you know, then COVID happened and all that. Oh man.
Yo, Finn coming out when he lost the title to Cross, but he had the red X on his shoulder. Like, I was like, yo, bro, this guy right here, this is money, man. Put him on the front street. Even if you don't want him to have a live microphone like that, maybe, because it's not like he's like the greatest promo in the world. But like ultimately, bro, I think he's a lot better now too.
Oh, he is.
Like, that
he's
man,
great.
Yeah, he's great now. That Judgment Day was the greatest thing that happened to him in WWE, I think.
Yeah.
But like, you should have built on that, and he should have been your star. I got feelings about Edge and how that whole thing kind of came to be personally. I feel like I still feel like he shouldn't have won that WrestleMania match. Like that was some
Thank
BS.
you.
No, I agree.
But same. Prince should have won that.
It like they didn't make no damn, especially if you leaving like. That was another thing too. Granted, I'm blind. My blind like ignorance of being a Finn fan. The whole Finn Roman thing when like bro was on the bottom of the floor and then he hopped up, boom out of like bro started percolating on the ground and then like he fell off the top rope to loop like.
They still never explained that. They still never explained the top rope.
They didn't. I'm spiraling, bro. Stephanie Vaquer, put her in Judgment Day. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm really curious to see if that does happen or in the future if that does get into a route because with Damian, he's one of the first people that what the WWE introduced her, you know, I think in a reel or some type of promo they did, and on Spanish,
It was
like,
a live event.
yeah, live event back in Mexico, I believe, in June or July, and I love how, you know, Damian
Yeah.
was the champion at the time. He was like, estamos buenos para estar con usted, you know, saying in Spanish, it was a greatly appreciate to be with you. You're a great star to come into the company, and we can't see, you know, we can't wait to see where you go. So if she joins Judgment Day against Damian, it would be an interesting twist of how will they use that against Damian in the future, when he's the one that actually was the first one to say hello on the public real side of the company. So I'm curious to see how that little happen twist. But I'm all for it. If she jumped from NXT to the main roster, I have no problem, as long as story-wise it makes sense.
You can't have. I feel like you shouldn't have her and Julia right there debuting around the same time, because it's like, how do you split them away from seeing each other? Like, that's gonna be a thing. Like, well, I know y'all gonna talk about that ultimately with like tomorrow and shit, but it's like, it's a little too convoluted in that sense, and I feel like maybe a split up. Some people also just don't need NXT right this very second. I feel like both of them are really, if you wanted to put them on the main roster now, is ready, but like give them, separate them, because like that's a match that you want to spin back to. That's a SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble style match. So
Yeah.
Even if they were both on NXT at the same time, I could easily see them doing that as their stand and deliver match next year.
boom.
Yeah.
Also, I do want to say appreciate for Germany by saying "fuck you, Dom" throughout the whole match as well. So
Oh, yeah.
I love
Good.
that very much.
Should have been me.
Everyone was trying to not let him get in, even during the promo from last night and everything. Everyone in Germany was booing this man with like from the bottom of their soul. This that was saying it, "Fuck you, Dom. We don't like you. You took our dream girl, or you took our star." And I love it. The whole
Did you
country
see
was
that
behind
press
it.
conference? You see that press conference from I think it was either earlier today or yesterday, where like Rhea was talking, and then Shorty in the crowd called Dom the P word.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Yes, exactly. I can't
cannot
repeat that."
it, but
Yeah.
yes.
Yep.
I'm like, nah, stay classy. I love it.
I love it.
Yep.
Like, respect.
Until you move to Netflix.
I can't repeat it.
Oh my, yo, when Netflix
Good.
come,
Oh yeah, they have officially announced it. Cody said it earlier. January 6th on Netflix. We're officially there. January 6th.
Oh, I can't wait. Also, I want to at least nominate. He doesn't have to win because there have been a lot of haters this year, but I do want to nominate Cole for Hater of the Year, because this man, like, I mean, I get it, you know, fuck Dom and all that, because hey, it should have been me, but like, Cole, do you really have the right to talk about another man's body? Like, he's
Oh,
out there being like,
skinny.
yeah, he was like, oh, he looks like a stick, no muscles. I'm just like, dude, have you looked in the mirror lately after a shower? Like,
I forgot who it was. I believe it was Kendrick or somebody in a song that said, "I hate the way you talk. I hate the way you dress.
hate
I
the way you.
Exactly. So knowing all that, I felt that was Michael Cole literally just spit it like to Dom, like, "I don't like you. I hate the way you talk. I hate the way you dress. I hate the way you come to the ring. I hate the way you wrestle. You have no muscles. Nothing." Like, yo, Michael, is there anything positive you're gonna say about this dude? And, like, is there one word? No, nothing. Okay, the hate is real on this man.
No, he has my life. I want
oh
it.
yeah. But I do also want to mention really quick the video package, because I made a note on here, and I wanted to at least like make mention of what I said with it. Because so the video package is really good. Like, I think they used the theme song for Bash in Berlin for it. Yeah, I need to put that on my Spotify like immediately.
Big facts.
Very good.
Oh, but it's so good. But like, it made me it was one of those like brain clicking moments where it's like, okay, I get it now, because like the video package is really good, but it kind of makes you feel rewarded for watching the weekly program, because like it was one of our past episodes, especially this past month. I had made a comment, or one of us made a comment about like how we're getting like all these constant beatdowns, and they always seem the same, like especially with like the Judgment Day and all that stuff. Like, all the beatdowns and moments kind of felt the same, but then like you do know, like, you know, they're putting it in the video package and it'll be fine then. And then like this video package kind of solidified that for me, where it's like, okay, you know what? I feel rewarded as a weekly watcher by like, okay, I saw all these different beatdowns go down, and like the backstage promos and all that stuff, and like seeing it put together, moving towards the match again. Like I, as a weekly watcher and constant consumer of the graps, I felt rewarded in that aspect. And Vash, I think you had a note too with all this as well.
Yes, it was a good refresher for anybody, even for my wife who was watching the video package with me during the pre-show and everything. This was a good reminder for anybody that missed the shows or missed any type of weekly Monday to know why these two people have gotten heated up and why they're here. And the music really elevated their moments, even for Liv and her, because we haven't had a good similarity of storytelling between why they're having such a fight, and it showed in this video package. So I gotta give credit where credit's due, and plus props to the editing, because when editing makes it work, showing that hey, why Dom and Liv is going through this because of Rhea and Damian, it shows that reason, and I feel like that executed really well for my girl who's out of the loop to know, oh, okay, Rhea and Damian are technically not really the bad guys. They did what they did to make the Judgment Day. But Liv, she's on this revenge tour. But even Rhea said in the press conference that, what revenge tour? You're done. I got you. You're next on my list. So it showed that the revenge tour is kind of feeling meaningless, but it's showing that it was something, and it is something. It just depends on the win-lose ratio right now, or it depends on the booking aspect. But when it comes to the video package, well executed and good editing for sure.
One more thing I want to get off, because I'm glad you brought. I forgot about the whole revenge tour stuff, even though they bring it up consistently. Liv was never wrong. This whole thing started because Rhea Ripley was out here doing what she do best, and ultimately Liv got her back. Like, bro, like as an aspiring hater, like I felt that in my spirit. Like Liv really ain't do shit wrong. Like she out here just getting what she deserved, and now she champ. She got the man. She on top. Like I don't know. Can we really root for Rhea?
Yeah, and Liv is making some of the men happy. Like, hey, I got you your nuggies. You eat your nuggies. You're happy. Even a post interview, our boy Dom literally said, like, yeah, Liv gives me nuggets and she eats my nuggets. I'm like, boy, PG, keep it PG, my guy.
Yo. Yeah. Well, I mean, Netflix. Man, I need it on Netflix, bro. Now. Just
hit my life, bro.
Exactly. It should have been me.
He said it should have been me, not him.
I want to give credit for anybody that watches these three, Instagram and their Twitter and IG, their social, because people need to understand Rhea and Liv. They post reels, they post quote retweets like, yo, fuck you, this bitch and everything. And Dom literally posts gifs, and I can't imagine how their group chat is, away from kayfabe, where Rhea and Liv is like,
but no,
like, hey, Dom, can you do some work for this feud? And I'll be like, fuck, I'm lazy. I'm gonna just post a gif. I'm like, I can't imagine them to be mad. Like, bro, can you do a bit more? We're the ones that are carrying this feud. You're literally the dog for us. Like, can you do something?
Yo, Buddy Murphy be somewhere in bed cracking up at night and all this shit.
He has to be.
Nah, he's just chilling it. He's actually
Fortnite as well. If anybody don't know, Rhea was live on her IG a week or two ago, and literally Buddy was just playing Fortnite while girl was just literally talking to people and just doing a whole workout. And Buddy was just playing Fortnite. I'm like, shit, bro's living the best life.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That sounds like a man who's comfortable in his relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah. Not like a Rusev Lana situation, but anyways, look, I want Rusev back. I want him back on my TV screens, but that's neither here nor there because we're talking about the Judgment Day. Are there any other notes we have on this match? I mean, again, it seems like we're moving towards with like Damian Priest and Finn Balor, and then like Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. I know we kept talking about like Drew and Punk in Hell in a Cell. Do you guys think we're gonna have a second one where we have Liv versus Rhea in the cell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see that.
2 yeses.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I didn't even think about that.
It's funny how Vavani brought up Stephanie Vaquer because now she's teasing something.
Yo, it's happening.
Tomorrow No Mercy. Tomorrow No Mercy is gonna be interesting.
She teased the picture with her, Julia, and Delta.
Yo, I need to.
I was gonna mention Delta earlier because like
I need
when
to
you
read up
brought
on Delta.
Yeah.
because like she was name dropped by Rhea. I meant to bring her up when Vonnie, you were mentioning like Stephanie joining
The
Judgment
exact
Day.
post was
I
this.
want.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
bricked
nice.
up, bricked up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I wanted to throw my hat in there with like being like, oh wait, no, instead of Stephanie, put Delta in there, so then like we can get the Delta Rhea match, and
Yep.
like, oh that
That bangers.
after bangers, after bangers.
Yo, Banger Bros being a thing that they almost kind of brought up is still between that
Yeah.
and submission sorority. Stay classy.
It was an
Oh my
interesting
God,
time
well-
for them, and Sheamus trying not to say it all the time and deal with legal rights, or maybe not. So it would have been interesting how would that turn around. But overall, this match was Judgment Day. Hopefully they get the W in the future. Hopefully Carlitos, I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but he gets something involving JD McDonough and Finn Balor. Hopefully you are having some tag title match in a while, because your tag titles have just been hanging there too as well. Like, can you guys get a match maybe Monday, or get like a tag team like event thing, you and him versus Damian and somebody else would be something random. Like, keep it interesting as well. Don't just have it go back and forth, Judgment Day versus each member. Can we have it consistent? Like, hey, JD is a title person, he's a champion. Can we have it mean something as well? Those are my last thoughts.
And like, I'm glad you mentioned the tag titles, and with that, because like, I guess a quick little prediction, and hopefully they are done with this group soon. I think what you want about putting titles on them, but Judgment Day versus Wyatt 6 feud.
It makes sense because you gotta remember that the Wyatt Six only go after people that done something
with
wrong.
The family. Yes.
That's why they went after Chad Gable, because of what he did to Otis and everybody else. So that definitely could be a thing because of what's currently going on. And,
Mordecai. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that.
We said that literally
Oh
I think
my
actually
gosh.
this past Monday, but yes.
I think so.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
Oh man, but I'm talking about. I'm tired of talking about dirty ass Dom. Let's talk about another banger that we had tonight, because our main event of the night, we had the World Heavyweight title on the line. We had Gunther defending his title against Randy Orton. Good match. Very slow at times, but I think that's just because of like the nature of Orton and Gunther's style. Glad we have the 8K camera back, because that was beautiful for Orton's entrance.
His titties was glistening, bro, when he was walking down the aisle. At that point, I said, I don't know what kind of camera this is, but I'm sorry. I just
They were
Oh, that's fine.
they were like Frankie's nipple lights from One Piece.
It was like, bro, from MHA with the stomach laser.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes! Except it's nipple light.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm a sparkling.
I didn't expect that one. Oh, we got Frankie. We got
man.
Yahama. Wow. Okay. Cool. I do want to say, Ludwig Kaiser. You surprised me. You threw me out of loop, which made sense. You're in Germany. You do this type of ring announcement. You got a great job. By the way, we didn't give credit where credit is due. Samantha, throughout the whole night, she killed out of the park. She always does a fantastic job, and she'll look beautiful tonight. It sucks our boy, her hubby, is not there with her every week now, but
He's still eating good.
Oh yeah, he's eating good. He's
in more ways than one.
Yes. Yep. Praise the church right there. So when it comes to Ludwig Kaiser, very happy he was involved, at least to announce the match and at least be there for that moment for one of his big main eventing. Gunther, for the first time ever, to main event the main roster on the PLE. So congrats to him as well for this big W.
Oh yeah. But like also, okay, I want to mention this before we get like into the match itself too. So lately I've been listening to an audiobook of like Sun Wukong stories, because I'm right now hyper fixated on a lot of Wukong stuff. Thank you PS5 games
That
and all
game
that
looks
stuff.
so fire.
It's so okay, side tangent here. I'm not a big like Souls, like Dark Souls or like Bloodborne fan or anything
Yep.
because I really suck at them. But this game, and Drop actually heard me fighting a boss earlier. Like it brings out like not anger, but like a certain frustration level that I'm fine with dealing with. Yeah, it's just a really good game. But I've been listening to like an audiobook talking about like, the stories of Wukong and all that stuff. And before all that, there's like this preface stuff with like the guy who was saying the audiobook. And he, it's telling a little bit of backstory about himself as mom like told him stories of Wukong because, he had Chinese background and all that. And so there was a moment where like he mentions how Wukong will tell jokes while he's fighting and all that. And, you see that, especially with Wukong being like basically the template for a lot of like either shonen series or even people like, he even name drops like Superman and Spider-Man and all these. And it's just like, you can kind of get that. But he made a comment about like how Wukong is always laughing and always joking around. And he says, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here, he laughs to give himself some levity to a situation, to calm down and take a step back. And so I kind of bring that up because, like,
hey, Joy Boy.
I was kind of, oh yeah, Joy Boy, yeah, yes, love it. But like, I was kind of getting those vibes from Orton during his entrance because, like, the 8K camera that we got, that shot, it was just it was a single shot we got of just like watching Orton just slowly go down the ramp, like just that was our one shot for the night and all that. And like you hear the crowd singing and all that, but like just Orton's face and how he's just like soaking it in, you could just tell that he is getting ready for battle. He is like preparing himself, not only like he's preparing himself physically, now he's preparing himself mentally. Now that he's here on the stage, he's getting ready to get into that ring and face another warrior for a top title, for like this chance to find like glory. And like it kind of made me think of that because I mean, again, I just listened to that like the other day, but like it made me kind of think of that. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is like, it's a very subtle thing, but very powerful, and it's one thing that like WWE's been doing really good on with like their storytelling, like in ring or even right before a match too. Like because we saw some of this too, like throughout the night. I mean, we can go back to KO and Cody and talk about like the subtleties that were happening in there, but like just this whole match, and it started with this moment with Orton here. But I at least wanted to like throw that out there as something that like I kind of took out from that, because again, like I'm starting to like see more of the subtleties that WWE's doing and all that. Oh man, but yeah, good on you, Ludwig Kaiser. Good intro for Gunther. Like he gave his whole balls for that one. Like he was like, "Oh, we're in Germany, let's do this thing."
And usually I don't be crazy about Ludwig Kaiser's entrances. I feel like the one person, but like nah, he did his big thing with this one.
Yeah. But yeah, so like the match starts, again, kind of. Am I the only one that thought it was like really slow paced?
I like it because it reminded me of what KO and Cody had in the beginning as well. They was feeding the room, they was feeding the crowd.
Yeah,
the crowd was really screaming on Gunther, also for Randy. So I love how the crowd was just really giving the energies to them, and they was absorbing the energy, knowing how to analyze like, do we fight each other now? Let's absorb it. So I love how they were spinning around the ring. Like it reminded me of how back in the day with Cowboys, you would wait for the right shot, the right time.
The quick draw.
Yeah, like the quick draw. And that's what I felt like where Randy and Gunther were going at, analyzing, ready to do the quick draw. Like who would do the first swing, who would do the first attack. And I like that because they gave each of them their own moment to feel the aggressiveness, to feel the attack moment. So it felt more genuine in the aspect.
Yeah, bro, it's like two wrestlers who typically pick their food before they really start like hitting with the bangers, no pun intended. Like they was playing with each other, like, all right, who's gonna be the one to put their fork in the plate first? Like it was kind of exactly like that type. I really think that Randy is an absolute like beast when it comes to that type of stuff. He's been doing that for however many years it's been working. Gunther right now has been utilizing it, and like he's champ. So the slowness I was okay with as I like started catching a lot more highlights and stuff about it because of what came after the fact. They put on the spectacle.
Plus, I love how Randy the whole time. I felt like he was heel Randy. Like the way he kept staring at the camera, he was like smiling like, I'm gonna fuck this dude up.
Look, man.
I'm gonna fuck him up. Yeah, let's go DDT. Let's go RKO. Let's do all the 9 yards. Like I just felt like Randy was just having the most fun and just literally smiling at the camera like, I'm gonna fuck shit up. I'm gonna fuck shit up. We're gonna go crazy.
Yeah,
we're gonna do the voices. So I love that type of look, the camera angle, the acting. It just executed very well.
Yeah, I like the whole flow of the match because it makes sense because yet again, you know, it is the main event, so obviously you have to set a tone.
Yeah.
And Gunther is also being portrayed as this final boss figure, so obviously I would expect his matches to be like this. I mean, if you go back to the match that he had of Ilya Dragunov back in NXT UK, they put on a match for like 45 minutes, so they both took each other to the extreme on that match, and that's why they pace each other well, because it's the storytelling that gets put into the match. That's why they take their time when it comes to certain matches like this. That's why I didn't really have any issues with it like being slow or anything, because that just shows like, okay, you know, Gunther isn't somebody you're gonna knock down within 15 minutes. Like, it's gonna take quite some time before you know, slay the dragon. And obviously Gunther's reign, it wasn't gonna end here, but it just goes to show what lengths Randy is willing to go to when it comes to taking down Gunther and continuing that story of eventually becoming a world champion again, or even, you know, just getting back on track again and winning a singles match period, because he hasn't been doing it for quite some time, which is honestly the thing I want to talk about next, because I enjoyed the match. I thought it was great, probably my favorite match of the night, honestly, just because I'm a big Gunther fan. But what I can see with this is, like we brought up earlier, Orton's still on a losing streak now, and obviously that's going to be going through his head, and obviously him and Gunther, I would assume, is over. I don't really see there being another one after this, probably in the near future, but as of right now, I don't really see anything else happening. But it also plays into, okay, what's going to be happening on SmackDown now, and then you have the Cody and Solo stuff that we brought up earlier. Now you're going to see, like, okay, what sort of direction is Randy going to go down with this?
Yeah.
Like, is it because Orton gonna want a title opportunity first before Solo? Is Orton gonna have, like, you're just thinking, it's like, if you're like put in a situation like Orton, who hasn't been on a winning streak for so long, it's eventually gonna catch up to you, and it's really gonna start pissing you off, and then you're gonna want to do everything you possibly can to, you know, get back on track again and actually, you know, be put in the spotlight like you deserve to be. Not saying that he doesn't, but just to be at that level that he was, where he was just all over the place doing whatever he wants. So that's why I feel like it's really going to lead into that heel turn, because he's just going to get so fed up with everything that's going on. And once you see that RKO on Cody, that's pretty much going to set everything in stone. Like, you're not going to know when it's coming, but when it comes, that's pretty much where you're going to see that shift, that different side of Randy that we haven't seen in years now. Because you would think, even though they both gave each other credit towards the end, it's probably still eating Randy up inside, because he really wants to know, okay, what am I doing now? Like, what sort of direction is for me next? And obviously that's why it's like the whole bloodline thing is like such a big talking point, because Randy, Cody, and KO are all gonna say, we've dealt with these people so many damn times. Why are we like putting ourselves into this situation again? And then that could definitely add some sort of like drama with their group, where it's like, Cody, are you really going to do this? Randy, you really going to do this? KO, are you really going to do this? And it's just going to have things go all over the place. And that's what I'm looking forward to see with SmackDown, because, you know, Randy's not somebody you're going to put on the sidelines after this match. Obviously, you're going to have to factor him into some really important shit. So that's what I'm wondering, what's going through Randy's head after this. Like, yeah, it was a good sportsmanship, but at the same time, it's like, if I've known Randy for all the years that I've watched him, or since I was a little kid watching wrestling for the very first time, you know, Randy doesn't just let things slide.
Nope.
And how much did they
Nah.
bill Randy at as far as his weight goes? Do y'all remember? Is it 285?
He's right now currently
I
285.
think
I believe they just tweeted.
so. Yeah.
They just tweeted like a day or two ago saying that he's
Mhm.
officially currently 285.
Okay.
Because last time, he was at 295.
He too damn big to be
Okay,
a face, bro. He too damn big
Yeah.
to be a face. With all the muscles, bro, make him a heel.
Yo, what's funny
he
is
has
that
to
if
be.
anybody saw the interview with him or Cody Rhodes, he literally said it that the match before him and Gunther, he literally ate a whole jar of Nutella.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. He ate a
Oh,
whole
I
jar of
remember
Nutella,
that story.
And he
Yeah, he
said that he
mentioned
gained
that.
like 5 pounds. Like, it's just eating a whole jar of Nutella. Like,
Yeah, I remember
This was
that.
the match before the King of the Ring. So right before that match of Randy and Gunther for the King of the Ring, he literally ate a whole jar of Nutella right before that match.
That's why his shoulder was up. His body couldn't bend that much. Oh my god, it
He's
makes sense.
screaming.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Also,
Damn you, Nutella.
I also want to talk about the execution of this match because having Randy go to
yeah.
sleep, that was pretty interesting because that's what Gunther did for his first match of his win for Damian. He also put him to sleep. So I love that we're seeing Gunther not doing pinfalls. Like, he's literally taking out his opponents, and that is the type of wrestler he is. He's more of an aggressive. He attacks for the weakness. He goes for the win.
Yes.
And
I saw those welts on his body.
exactly.
That was from the last night with Ilya.
Yeah, with Ilya. So just to see this happening with Gunther putting Randy to sleep, that is a triumph win because, like, Gunther just put one of the biggest stars, Randy Orton, to sleep. He put him in a submission, and that's something that a lot of people cannot say. So to get that to actually happen, I believe, Watkins, you brought that up last night that Randy has only lost in submissions 9 times out of the 25 years, I believe you said that last night.
19. Yeah,
19
19 times. So I mean,
Today's the
if you
20th.
count pass outs, yeah. Today was the 20th. So yeah, which kind of, what was it? The math on that video I watched, it said like roughly 3% of his matches in his career, or like WWE career at least, have been because of tap out, and most of those were to John Cena. Fun fact.
Yeah,
Thank you, STFU.
Makes sense.
Yep. But now Gunther is on a very, very exclusive club for making Orton either tap or pass out.
Exactly. So for me, that's a good type of win for Gunther as well. The way Randy executed, saying like, you know what, your strongest obstacle is your right arm. The best thing I should do, take the arm out. And I love how Randy was just swinging the arm down and everything, like just continue hammering it each time he can. But then I love how Gunther was like, I got another arm. Time to attack you with the other one. I'm like, yeah, he's a 2-arm person. It makes sense.
Yeah. I like how he didn't stick with it though, because it's just like he's so used. I'm assuming he's right-handed because he's attacking with his right, but like he's just so used to using his right side, and it even kind of cuts into more of his offense because like he tried on multiple occasions to hit a power bomb, and I'm not gonna lie, this is the point where I'm just like, I kind of hate WWE's sometimes their health policy with this, because it's like, Gunther, if a powerbomb isn't working, why not do a pile driver? Like, you were getting him up enough to do that. You could have just done a pile driver, and like at least that would have done a little bit more damage, I guess. But like, I think just with WWE and concussion
Randy's
things, that too, it's just like, okay, they can't really do that. But it's just like, it was going through my head. I'm just like, man, you could just hit a pile driver. You don't have to do a power bomb. Just do that.
I would say it was a beautiful counter when Randy tried to do the RKO, but then Gunther changed that into German suplex. That was a really nice counter.
Yeah. Like, and yeah, there was a lot of good counters in this, like from like RKOs, just like throwing, like yeeting Randy across the ring to like, what was the one? Oh, the one that I keep thinking about. It's like when Gunther had one of the sleepers on and Orton like has him up, and then he backdrops him and he just like sits up, and then Gunther just out of nowhere just jumps up and like grabs him almost like a head. Yeah, just like puts him in that sleeper hold for like the end of the match and all that. Like, God, that was so good.
That that one bump that he took though, the backdrop on the announce table with the stairs, that's gonna be one of those that you see a lot.
I love that
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
I love how Randy
Camera.
was setting up the stairs. And I love how Michael Cole was saying that, remember, guys, he cannot use the stairs because of the disqualification and everything. Like, he kept saying these type of things, but Randy was attaching the steps. Slowly, he went back in the ring to, recount the 1, 2 to 10. And Randy was just holding Gunther. No lie, at first, I thought Gunther was going to counter and execute the powerbomb right there.
Mm-hmm.
And he did it. And he actually got Gunther. And I'm like, oh, okay. He actually got Gunther. I didn't expect Gunther to actually get up real quick. Because I'm like, yo, he actually got you from the extra level. Like, he literally had steel steps to add the elevation to the announcer table. I'm like, oh, okay. You adding the extra elevation, the extra gravitational to hit down. I honestly thought that Gunther was going to counter.
That man Gunther, an Elden Ring boss, and I don't want to hear nothing else about it.
Oh no,
That
he
man is
definitely
an
is.
Elden Ring
Facts.
boss.
Oh, he is.
For anybody that hasn't ever practiced, try to backswing and do a couple times. Your triceps will get tired. This man, Gunther, has trained his triceps to literally know how to use that backswing so good. The only reason I know how to use it because I play handball. Right here in New York City, that's a sport where you hit the ball on the wall, and if you don't have a left, you use the backhand, and if you're cocky with it or nice with it, you look good with it, and if you're not, you look bad and ugly as hell.
Nope.
I know I'm a
Dang.
child because there's the arm motion you was doing. And he was like, I know a lot about it because I'm thinking this is leaning into some goon and shit or something. I'm like, you know what? It is what it is.
Look, man, we're done talking about Mommy and Liv. We don't have to goon anymore, But like, okay, there was one point I thought Gunther was gonna. I thought he was gonna pull out a hidden blade. Because
God, yes.
He did a move and then like he backs up into the corners. It's like kind of sitting there, and I'm like, wait, Gunther, you could do something crazy and just run up to him, like steal Ospreay's like moves, steal that hidden blade, go on, do it. But like, nah, he did his little T-Rex drop kick, he likes to call it. But like, there was a part of me I was just like, man, that would be so cool if he did that.
It would look so good in his arsenal too, though.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh
would
my
hope
god!
to
Like,
see. I will hope to see Gunther adds more to his arsenal other than just being aggressive. The power slams that he does and everything. I hope he adds more stuff during his reign in the next couple months. Because I love to see that other than just aggressive character, you're always going for the weakness. Like we seen you as the IC champion for 666 days. We know how you were as that champion. Can you give us a bit more in your arsenal as the world heavyweight title? That's what I would love to see.
And he had to, bro. I've seen what he did to Pete Dunne, bro. Like that match, one of the most phenomenal matches I've ever seen in this company. So like he got it. I think it's probably just a level of them having the title, getting them acclimated and all that stuff. I think when we start getting them heavy hitter matches like the Survivor Series, the Royal Rumbles type joint, that's when he really gonna start popping out and showing people.
Especially when he eventually has that match with Ilya Dragunov. That's when you're really gonna see not just Ilya but Gunther like both breaking out and showing like what level they can go at with each other, because that's like because knowing how Triple H is and knowing how Shawn is, like we spoke about earlier, end game for Shawn is eventually doing that Julia and Stephanie Valkyria match whenever it happens. And when you look at Gunther being world champion, Triple H's end game is eventually getting to that Ilya Dragunov and Gunther match, because he knows that's a match that a lot of people want, and he wants to make sure that he builds it up properly. So once you have that match happening, you're going to see probably a side of Gunther that the main roster hasn't seen. Because when you look at like Ilya Dragunov and Gunther, they pretty much both fight the exact same way. They're both very aggressive whenever they're in the ring with anybody, where they're putting like a whole shitload of like welts on their body. I mean, you even saw Gunther in the beginning of the match, he had all those welts on their body. That wasn't just from some random person. That's from Ilya Dragunov. They always leave scars whenever they get into fights with each other.
Praise
So
to the people in Germany and the live events that got to see that with their event of Gunther and Ilja Dragunov like 4 times during this event. So praise to you to actually see this event that we never got to. We got to see a highlights. I think WWE posted it, and also I think there's a report that the Triple H or higher ups are seeing what people are talking about of this match. So I'm glad Triple H and the higher ups are seeing that the fans and the audience are very excited when the time comes to see this on a live TV, premium live event of Gunther versus Ilja Dragunov.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, Triple H. Sorry. I'm just remembering back to my No Yeet days. And
with Triple H, you're a good father. Go there, be with your college daughter. You're there, support her,
yes.
going in there. You I love the balance that Cody had to do his role during the press conference, and our boy Triple H had to be there as a dad. You know, your first daughter going to college, you want to be there for her, support her, make sure girls going down the right path. All that. As a dad, as a parent. So congrats, we pushed that, and seeing that you're the head of the company and you're even taking time off, I'll say that's great for you, man.
You go earn that debt.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
And that just adds on to what Randy said earlier when he had that interview with Michael Cole, saying that, you know, if something comes up, they can go ahead and do it. There's not going to be any restrictions saying you can't do this or that.
Yeah. And plus, like, the fact that they trust Cody enough to go out there and do, like, the company shit for the press conferences, too, like, that also speaks to Cody, too. Yeah.
He was literally the person
he's just like, I've done this before.
Exactly.
So.
Like, I was doing it at this at my old company with a guy named Tony Khan, you know, AW. I was doing it before. It's literally copy and paste. I just do it better. Even though people that is in the press conference need to ask better questions. I'm going to say this. We're not going to go on a rant, but just ask better questions. If you're in there, ask about the event. Don't ask things that are not of the event. You're there for the fucking event. That's what I'm going to say.
And and the only thing I will add on to that is, like, when you head into these press conferences, like I mentioned earlier, if the 4 of us were on there, we could probably think of better questions to ask
10 times
for a good 99% of you guys. And, like, my whole issue with this is, like, when you go into those, like, press conferences, don't be asking them, like, questions that make them feel really uncomfortable. And I'm not going to dive into the topic, but it's like coming to Cody and asking him a question like that, and then asking him again after Cody, I give him a lot of credit, he answered it the best way that he did. But it's like, don't keep egging it on. Don't just it's just, there's a certain party that's working on that. They're not a part of that party. Just ask him how the event was. How is the whole atmosphere there? What does the future hold with you? Like, somebody asked him, you know, you had this whole thing with KO. Now, what about Randy? You know, asking stuff like that makes a lot of sense. Just there's a certain line that you gotta, like, stop when it comes to these sort of things. You can't be crossing every line thinking you can say everything.
Yeah. So just you know, be better. You know, just be better people. You know, be Gunthers now.
Have good sportsmanship. Like Gunther and Randy at the end. They both gave the handshake to each other out of mutual respect. Hey, we cooked that house. Everyone loved it. They also broke records, had 13,000 people in a arena. So that's all accomplishments to them. So congrats for continue breaking record, and for Gunther to main event on the PLE. Okay, that's such a great thing, and he's going to continue doing it down the line.
Yep.
But
yeah, I mean, oh my God, yes. Oh, man. But yeah, so 2 high-class warriors, you know, dueling it out and all that. Orton was on top most of the time, which, I mean, I think I'm fine with, because, like, this kind of plays into Gunther's, like, rise to power, if you will. Because, like, yeah, he had the IC title for, you know, 666 days, which is also kind of crazy when you look at that number and think, oh, he held the title for that amount of days. Interesting. Okay. But like now he's transitioned into the main event picture. So now he's fighting the main event talent and all that. And like having Orton being the first one, I think is a good like gatekeeper way for Gunther to burst through. Cause it's like, okay, this is a challenge for you, but we're not going to make it easy for you. Like most of your IC title wins were. Cause like with most of his IC titles, it was just like, okay, as soon as it got to the ending, it was like big move, big move, boom, big move, and it's done and it's over with. But like with Orton, oh, he's actually like plotting, so I can't hit my big moves. I can't end a match with just a clothesline now because I can't do a clothesline. You know.
Yeah.
Also,
But how'd you
get
get
in the wing?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, like,
Mhm.
There's gonna be
Exactly.
other people he comes in contact to, because I know for sure Cena and him are probably gonna get in the ring together.
Did anyone
next
see
year.
the report that
Yeah.
Cena posted
did,
a
I
picture
did.
with the belt
Yeah.
and then he
And
deleted
then
like,
deleted.
like 2 minutes later?
Yeah, and I also believe
Look.
Gunther even spoke about wanting to be in the ring with Cena to begin with, but that's like another guy that doesn't get taken down that easily. You can do every match. I mean, you can do every move that you can possibly can. You can do a little combo move or passing out or whatever. But if Super Cena comes back, you're gonna take a lot out of that to like eventually take him down. Like that, a lot of these people he's gonna come in contact with, they're gonna be really tough. It's not going to be just 2 or 3 finishers and that's it. Like people like Orton, like we've seen tonight, and people like John Cena and whoever else he comes across in the near future, even like Seth Rollins, which I would assume they would probably get in the ring with each other eventually down the line. People like that don't get taken down that easily, especially from what we saw with Seth Rollins recently. Like half the stuff that he gets caught into, and you still can't take him down. There's a lot of people waiting for Gunther, and I'm definitely excited to see what other
Yo, Seth versus Gunther?
who the next
that's gonna be amazing.
I'm honestly just curious who the next opponent is for
Bad
like,
Blood. I feel like
Gunther.
Seth. I feel like Seth could be a good choice, but I know Seth could.
I
probably go
don't
back
think
versus-
so.
I know Seth has to finish his work with Bronson Reed.
Yes,
so I know,
that's
well, Gunther's a good question. How about you guys?
Yeah.
Ronnie,
like
who do you think will be his first opponent?
I'm actually searching up the roster right now because I want to see who's there. I don't want to immediately go Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that.
No, Jay's busy right now with the IC title, which I'm okay with that he's going for the IC title tournament.
Yeah.
So, like, that
I
fits
would
him.
say Seth, but I feel like you're probably gonna have a bad blood match between Seth and Bronson Reed, and then probably after that, then you could probably do something like that with Seth and Gunther. But Seth has to get through Bronson Reed first before he gets to Gunther, because you already have unsettled business with Bronson Reed. You got to take care of that first. But yeah, I'm actually gonna look at the roster like Vonnie is too, because I'm actually really curious. To see.
Like, as
Yeah,
I got
'cause
it
I'm
up
trying to
right
think,
now,
like-
you got
Okay.
you got like I mean, as far as like actual main event talent, you got CM Punk. I see Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. I would say Finn Balor. You got Jey Uso. You got no Karrion Kross. That doesn't make sense. Kofi Kingston really isn't a main event right now. Rey Mysterio. Seth Rollins.
Maybe, but-
Sheamus.
Sheamus,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. He would have to finish his. Yeah, plus we would have to finish the stuff with like Pete Dunne and Ludwig Kaiser. Oh wait, there is a thing with Ludwig Kaiser, so
That could connect.
that
his
could
way
play into
Gunther,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hivani, you're
Yeah,
muted.
there's really not many. Wow.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm looking. I'm like, as far as who is really a main eventer on Raw right now, I feel like it's very
Yeah.
SmackDown
That
heavy
isn't
when it comes to
busy.
main event talent.
Yeah, exactly.
That
Like,
isn't
who
busy.
isn't busy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because like you could always run back Damian and Gunther. You could always run that back. I mean, Finn and Gunther would be fun, but it's like, A, we got that on a Raw, and B, that would technically be heel versus heel, which, I mean, I know Gunther can kind of be a tweener in that, but it's like,
plus you might
I don't
have
know
to wait
about that
until he's
one.
done with Damian first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know who you
exactly.
should pull over from SmackDown and put him there? Shinsuke.
Oh
Wait
my
until
god, that would be
Shinsuke come
good.
back. That would be a great way for Shinsuke to come
Yeah.
back. He's been gone since early this year. I think like 6 months ago. He's been gone now. He was in Japan and already having a little tour. So that would be a nice.
I think he was in Germany this week too.
Oh, he
It's
was?
really hard
Oh,
to-
then great for him.
Yeah,
It's really hard to
I think
tell
so.
who honestly could be next, because you could say
Yeah.
Punk, but then yet again you got him dealing with Drew still. So if that wasn't a thing, I'd say that.
Honestly, we're
And
gonna
then
see the
Chad
announcement on Monday.
Gable.
I was thinking Chad Gable. I feel like it's too soon for him, but I feel like
Yeah.
with this Monday,
I just don't want to see it.
yeah.
There's
He
somebody
had his
that,
shot with the IC title, but
there's somebody that's gonna interrupt him with Gunther that Monday. It could be CM Punk. Like Like it'd be like, hey, I said I sparked my shot.
I mean,
I'm gonna come for you. So it could literally be a simple that jumps in front of the
I
line.
would say Ilya Dragunov. I don't know if they're gonna do that right now.
Not yet.
Yeah.
You gotta say that. You know who
Mhm.
didn't I don't know if I don't remember if he got kicked out of Imperium, but like Vinci would have been at least
He's
like a
coming
nice
right
hold
now.
over.
Next week, he's debuting or arriving. Is the promo
He's on
for
SmackDown, though.
On
Yes.
SmackDown, yeah.
Like
That's
that kind of would have been
Tyler Bates injured.
Tyler Bate is in.
Yeah.
But also, man, I'm not putting Tyler Bate in the main event scene just yet. Like
No.
he can be, but just not right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No.
I feel like once
Yeah.
we're done and Sheamus have their feud, I feel like I would love to see Pete Dunne versus Gunther down the line.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I really went through like
Yeah.
Raw, SmackDown, and NXT rosters, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, shit. Like I don't know.
We,
Kind of hard to tell.
We're about to see in the next 48 hours. We're about to see what's gonna cook up on Monday Night Raw at 8 p.m. So we're gonna see
True.
what they're gonna bring up and who is the next opponent for Gunther, because they're gonna have to start setting up this week in the next 4 weeks for promo for Bad Blood. So that's literally around the corner.
True.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. Does anybody have any other thoughts on the main event of Bash in Berlin?
No.
Nope.
It was good.
I don't.
Congrats to
No.
Gunther. He did an
Nope.
amazing job.
All right, good. Well, hey, earlier we kind of gave our overall thoughts, so I'm going to ask you guys, Vash, I'm going to start with you. What was your highlight of the night?
So I would say my top three, because I got this idea from our girl Captain Kelly that was asking The Miz, Big E, and I forgot who else was there. I believe it was Nat Sam. He was there, and the actual of their highlights, top three. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. So I would say my top three highlights of the night was Rhea Ripley. It's hard to choose, but I'm gonna call it both of them because that's my little sneak. The Unholy Union, they was a stellar on their tag team match. They were both doing what they got to do. They was great teamwork. And I would say for my third, I would say Gunther. Gunther was really good, showing his work, showing his other types of arsenal, that without his right arm, he was showing that he's kind of handicapped. He had to do a different route. And I would say a little fourth one with CM Punk.
Punk, yeah.
Top four right
Gave
there.
us a special fourth one. Ooh, all right. All right, cool. What about you, Drop? What were some of your highlights of the night?
I'd probably have to say Punk because I feel like the match that he had tonight really showed that he can still hang in there and do what he did all those years ago. So definitely Punk comes up on top for this one because I feel like especially since this match is just to them, it allowed them to just handle things between the both of them rather than having Seth involved. And my second one would probably have to be the storytelling within the match of like Cody and KO. I really like that because that definitely adds a lot of layers to their relationship. Like Cody says, at the end of this, will we still be friends? We'll find out the answer to that on SmackDown. The third one would probably have to be, Liv Morgan proving that, she can hold her own against people like Rhea, looking back at how she was all those years ago, looking back at how she is now. It just shows that good character growth with her. And it's just really good storytelling with the Liv and Rhea story, which is something I'm really happy about when it comes to the woman actually having a legitimate storyline instead of just something being half-assed or whatever. It actually feels good to have a legitimate storyline you could tune into every single week because that's one of the main things that draw me in. And the last one I would probably have to say would probably have to be I guess the last one I would probably have to say is I guess I'll say with like the Unholy Union because I feel like they really held their own in the match, and it's unfortunate that they lost the titles even though my prediction was Bianca and Jade, but I'm just hoping in the end people could actually see that, this is a legitimate tag team. We need to put more focus on them because even with them being called up, from NXT to the main roster, a lot of people were excited about that because they know the potential that these girls have. And I still remember the match that they had with Kate and Katana last year was a great match that they had with one another, and both of those teams just have great chemistry. So I'm hoping this shows, people that are in charge or creative that, yeah, okay, we need to have a game plan for these girls and not let them sink to the bottom.
Yeah. All right, cool. Cool. All right, Vonnie, what were your highlights of the evening?
I only got 2 highlights to bring up, but before that, I just thought of a first and finally run back Gunther versus Sami Zayn next.
Oh yeah,
I don't think they did that.
It's true.
They didn't do that for the World Heavyweight, and you let Gunther get his get back with a victory right here. That works.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that does work.
Yep, that would be good.
That's actually a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as like the highlights, the only 2 that I got right now, you mentioned CM Punk, which I agree. Like I mentioned before, this victory was needed to show, like you said, like he could still hang in there. He still got it. I don't even think he was fully carried or anything like that. Like he still can move, which is great.
Yeah.
And the other one is, bro, we in the Liv Morgan show right now. Like that sunset flip powerbomb into the thing, and then whatever that other move was that she did. I forget
who shared that, because there was a name with it. Somebody,
it says Liv Morgan used Saki Aki move called Cortesa Coat. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. So if anyone wants to fix that for me, go ahead. But that's the move call.
Oh, it looked beautiful. Beautifully done.
Hey man, shout out Joshi Wrestling, bro. Peak.
I need to watch more.
Same. Listen, starting now going forward, I want to go to the Joshi agenda to push that and to watch a lot more wrestling. Definitely, I'm gonna be passing some matches and stuff between y'all.
Hell yeah.
Good.
When Americans do best is steal, and Liv Morgan took that, ran with it, and made it look like an inverted riptide, I was like, oh, nah, you did that.
It was so good.
Perfectly timed.
Not like at that moment, I thought she was going to get pinned right there. Like, oh, Liv's going to get that pin. It was perfectly like the arms were down, the shoulders and everything. I'm like, oh, this is perfect.
Yo, that we talk about finishers. If Oblivion isn't something she could do consistently because she needs a rope, that right there is
this.
This will be a perfect in-ring type of finisher. If you cannot do your Oblivion, where you always have to rely for your opponent to go to the rope, play for the spot. No, you can literally do this move in the middle of the ring and it looks almost executed perfectly.
It's up there with like how John Cena, when he got hurt, I think because he got F5 by that one dude, and then like he came back and he attitude adjustment now, but it was the FU where like he utilized that, and that was such a big deal at that point. This is one of those moments.
Yes.
Fully agree. So I guess my highlights mainly like, I guess I'll get a little more esoteric with this a little bit. Mainly like the energy I was getting from the world title matches. So like the WWE title and the world heavyweight title, just like, again, you were seeing like 4 men, in their respective matches, just like 4 masters of their craft going at it. Like, especially like KO and Cody, like some of their back and forths were really good. Despite, Kevin missing a few, kicks to the gut. But hey, that's fine. It's all good, buddy. And then, like, Randy and Gunther's match, like, where, I said earlier, it was slow-paced, but that made sense and, like, added to the match greatly because, hey, that's just their styles. And the way that they were able to mesh that and just, like, the overall, just, like, we've mentioned on here before, people like to throw the word aura around, but like here on Weebs of the Ring, we like to use the word hockey because that's a little better. I'm not gonna lie, hockey's a little better than that. But that was definitely one highlight. Do what? Oh yeah. Oh my God, so much Conquerors hockey.
Power level over 9,000.
I like that because Vash, how I feel about One Piece. So
yeah.
We might have another talk then eventually. But I guess my other highlight too, and something we didn't really touch much on, the crowd. The crowd was pretty hot, like again, we mentioned we mentioned the hierarchy a little bit, but like there were some points too that I just want to quickly throw out. Like, first of all, the wave during the main event and Randy Orton actually acknowledging it.
The Randy wave, though, him being like,
Oh yeah.
It
For
was so
anybody,
good.
that don't watch European football, soccer, this is the European crowd in a constant basis when it comes to soccer games. They're like this all the time, as hype, as loud, and as toxic as they could be. So seeing this in a crowd of pro wrestling, seeing as how hype, I didn't expect the wave. I didn't expect how they'll be acting. So seeing how France is, seeing how Belgium's doing, I'm like, you know what? I actually want more pro wrestling international crowd because they show that they're fiending for this. And it's funny. I also appreciate for you bringing this up, Watkins, that we saw the crowd monitor. It almost reached, like, the max that I saw was 110. That's the max I saw. I don't know if anybody saw it differently. So for them to see this, because they didn't put it for the Cleveland show for SummerSlam, knowing because it's U.S. crowd, they know that we aren't that loud. But knowing the international crowd is reaching past 100 in their crowd hype is beautiful to see. France still top there. Backlash Puerto Rico still top there. But Belgium, executed very well. Where in the live events, Netherlands wants to be the next crowd to be international for them. So congrats to them if it happens. But Belgium, I mean Berlin, Germany, if we come back to you, I'm okay with that. It looks great for them.
Can I say one thing here? Because I want to piggyback on that.
But yes.
To that point, to your point, I actually like that a lot of these PLEs, the non-big ones, are in different countries because you're expanding the demographic, the territory. And for the ones who are like, yo, I want to be able to see more of this stuff like here on my home turf. One, a lot of Raws and SmackDowns are here, bro. Pop out to those.
Exactly.
Also, if you want to really be a part of that and really go to them shows, maybe this is the initiative for you to start showing up to a lot more indie wrestling shows as well. Because there'd be a lot of fantastic matches that be happening and he's right in your backyard and you don't even realize it. Like that next Rhea Ripley, that next Dirty Dom, that next Cody Rhodes, all of those people are right there down the block. Might even be working at a Kroger's or might even be working at like a Piggly Wiggly, whatever's near you, a Walmart, doing what you got to do. Like, bro, give them the fair shake. Give them your money so that those people can actually be able to be on their way to start showcasing themselves at these PLEs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And you know what, Vash, I'm glad, Vash, you brought up the Living Loud thing, because that was going to be my other highlight, was that they brought, not only did they have that, but they brought it up when Rhea was beating up Dom.
Yes!
And that sent me, because, like, I'm just like, well, first of all, in our notes, like, I kind of went on one of my, so sometimes in my notes lately, with Bronson Reed doing his tsunamis, I'll go on like a little, like, do a little bit on there, be like, no, not another one, like that. I went on another one here with Rhea. I was just like, OMG, fuck him up, Rhea, eat him alive, give him 5 riptides, then call Bronson Reed to have him give Dom 10 tsunamis, kill. And at that moment was when the Living Live and Loud came on, and I'm like, oh my god, yes, this is perfect.
It just added an extra flavor towards that moment, because when Rhea was holding Dom in that corner in the headlock with her thighs, I'm like, it should have been me. But just knowing that it was happening, it's just like, yo, Rhea, and it's just her face, she's like, just squeezing him like with her life depended on it. And I'm like, yes, Rhea. My girls watching it like, get him, Dom. Yes, Rhea, get him. And I was just loving that moment. It was beautiful to see.
And it was such a good callback too when, like, they were first beating up Dom and Ray, because, like, Rhea did that to Dom, and some people could track that as maybe the start of Dom's little turn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because thighs should have been me.
Sean had his Dom had his neck on the inner workings of a vagina and said, "Damn, I kind of like this little life."
Ooh.
I think I like this little life.
He said, you know what? I think one of my last side comment about this, he literally posted it on a report saying that he considered himself one of the only people to turn heel while being a heel. And I love that.
Yo,
it's facts. It's like, hey,
that's crazy.
You was already a heel, but you turned a heel on your own girlfriend, Rhea, to be able to live, where everyone kind of saw it coming, but everyone to actually see it happen, where you threw the chair, you kiss her right in front of SummerSlam and everything. Like, oh, oh, okay, you got the bag, you got the Riz. Everyone's questioning because you got the most ugliest mole and mustache, but hey, you got it.
Yeah.
Get that caterpillar off his lip.
He also has the.
Oh gosh. Hey, she's fine with it. So hey, look, I'm sure her and Buddy kind of like get on a DM and just like, isn't this awesome how we're watching our spouses doing this? And he's just like, the fuck you talking about? I'm playing Fortnite. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Buddy text back, yo, ready up, like get on the sticks.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yo.
Oh my god, that's what they're doing. Oh, they both got the battle pass trying to get Magneto right now. Oh no, that's not Magneto. Doctor Doom right now. That's who it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh man. But hey, you know what, everybody? That's the show. Oh my gosh, we made it really long. But hey, that's awesome. That's great. We had a lot of great conversations. Everything was fun and all that. You know what? I'm gonna bring up the plugs now. So I'm gonna start with our lovely, awesome guest, as I say that. Vonnie. Go ahead and plug what you need to. You're new here, and hopefully you want to come back. But hey, let everybody know where they can find you and any fun projects you might be working on.
Well, first and foremost, I would definitely love to be back again at some point if y'all will have me. I
Hell
suppose.
yeah.
But by all means, like me personally, if you want to find me on all platforms, it is I Hate Vonnie. I am a VTuber. I am a digital creator, just everything around wrestling. I go to all these indie shows. I get their autographs. I do what I got to do. The most unspecified, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm unqualified, if you will, to be able to do this podcast stuff. But I'll say what I got to say. Listen, if it's for the ratings, we going to do that. You can find me also at Hubtaku. All platforms. We are here to help you content creators get what you need in order to be do what you got to do. That's where we found our lovely friend Vash. Me and him have discourse about how much I hate One Piece, even though I'm still at Arlong, but we'll talk about that later. Find me at Hubtaku. Find me at I Hate Vonnie. It is what it is.
It's all good, Vonnie. You know what? Some people just, they're heathens. They just don't love One Piece, and you know what? That's fine.
It's fine to be wrong. It's fine to be wrong in that aspect, but we all love that everyone is joining the journey. Like everyone here in the chat that you're watching, we're supporting. Go check out Hubtaku. I cannot explain and tell you how much I love Hubtaku and how much they have improved me as a leader and to help me rebrand the company and the brand and to see where we are now, because I reached out to Hubtaku a year ago and to see where we are now and how much they have helped me to grow the company again. That's one. Two, follow everywhere else involved in the company of AniMa Studio, Legendary Vash, Watkins MW, Drop This Box, and hashtag Weebs of the Ring, where you'll find us everywhere of covering every PLE, WWE, every Friday night SmackDown, every Friday night at 10:30 EST, and every Monday night Raw at 11:30 EST right after each show ends. And we will possibly be doing sidecasting for AEW Dynamite as of now only for twitch.tv/AniMa Studio. So definitely check that out. For myself and Watkins will be there for the AEW sidecast side, and maybe NXT No Mercy tomorrow on the Discord, the Twitch side. Nothing has been confirmed, so definitely follow, like the stream as always, and give that comment feedback if you were entertained by us and the whole team itself. So all the description is all the social media links and everywhere else. And hopefully I have continued to say what I need to say to give you time to change, Watkins, because I right now have stuff to say.
Oh, goody. So those are all the plugs. Again, you can find everyone's ats down below. All those links.
You get here?
All those. Oh, I just got here, dude. I've been here the whole time.
You missed the whole show. We was here for like 2 hours, bro.
Yeah.
Oh well, hey, look, I had to go take a nap. I was too busy, gooning a little bit.
You wash your hands, my brother.
Right? Wash.
The proposal.
The proposal. Yo, go check out. Okay, speaking of Anime Lately podcast. Hey, we had a fun discussion about Deadpool and Wolverine. Yes. So hey, go talk about one of my variants. Go listen to us talk about one of my variants and another Wolverine variant and all of that. Because hey, movie was all right. Didn't have walk pool in it, but it's fine. It's whatever. But hey, we're just going to take some time to thank you, as always, for taking time out of your day to listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. If you enjoyed what we had to say, why not do exactly what Vash did? Told you guys to do. Like, everything's down there in the description. Go do it. Go check it out. We are known as AniMa We Studio on all social media platforms. Just remember, that's we with a 3. Also, use the hashtag Weebs of the Ring to interact with us about anything regarding wrestling before, during, or after our shows. And especially tomorrow, because, hey, we're probably going to be watching some NXT No Mercy. So I plan on, live tweeting a little bit. So, hey, make sure you use that hashtag. Feedback is always appreciated, as we are nothing without you guys tuning in. Weebs of the Ring is presented by AniMa We Studio. Thanks again to our production team of Vash, Watkins, Drop This Box, Rome, and Jokester, as well as special thanks to JB and Abe. Thank you again for joining us, and remember, no stunt grannies were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, everybody.
Buenas
Have a good one.
noches.